All right, ready to get this meeting started. I got myself, Mark, Kathy, John. Will,
Not yet.
Will waiting on, no Johanna,
Nothing.
Matt's not here. Excuse absence, Don's here. So. Okay.
I see Will now.
And we'll coming in right now.
You have a plan.
6:07?
Yes. 6:07, Thursday, January 29th. Approval of prior minutes. We have two different sets of minutes here, one from June 20th and one from May 25th. Any questions on those?
Well, we do have some corrections that need to be done.
Edits. Mhm.
Edits, corrections, have whatever you want to say.
Do you want to make the approval
With corrections noted.
with the corrections noted?
Since I wasn't here, I couldn't second the motion.
Thank you.
Yeah,
On the
What else?
20th.
You can take Sean's name and something else.
Sean's name,
Well-
non-voting member,
No.
and that's on the June 20th.
on June and John was not attending.
That's right. So he was in the park, right?
Try.
Okay.
So down later, it says that I seconded the motion.
Did you? I don't
Must have
know
been
that.
somebody sitting here.
Yeah, but see, like, send the
Yeah,
application and
yeah.
let's-
At the second to the last paragraph, which is John, second to Mark's motion, that was not.
It's not possible.
It was,
Oh, I was wondering. What it was
I
really.
was to move forward with the bill again.
Because
Hmm.
nothing shows up on my screen. I just started making it.
I even wrote John's name down.
It's with somebody sitting.
with,
Not as good
I
as.
think it was Matt.
I will make that change.
All right. All those in favor of approving it?
With the correction.
With corrections.
Correction. Any opposed? No? Motion. carried. Officers report. I don't have too much to report. Frontier. Our bill is $89.
94.99.
Yeah, yes. I signed a new 1 year with them. It's gonna drop to $84.99 and they're gonna give us an increase on the line.
Dropped off the equipment as you saw,
I did, which I'm probably not gonna use and just return when the tax comes outside.
because I got a bill, that must be taken first and second or something for 164, so that does come out about maybe before double, so.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what that's about. Okay, all right. That was a question I was gonna ask you.
That's my only report. There's just see no reason not to do that.
So it decreased to what now? I'm sorry,
$84
per month.
a couple dollars. But the real thing is we go from 700 megabytes
So,
to a full.
okay.
About 1 gig.
So we should make a motion to authorize you to sign a contract.
Sure. I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. That was.
Aye.
So will this, can I just ask the question, this 1 gig will cover everything that you need? for
It's
your-
all free, but it's all free. It's the lake house here. We're getting a 1 gig upgrade. The pool's getting a 1 gig.
So it's a $30 savings across the board.
Okay. So it isn't 84, so the bill is not $84 a month total, it's 84
Well, it is. There's
per location,
Yeah, 84.
3 bills per location.
Right now, we're 89 per location.
Yep, I have to,
Just
Check.
so I,
it still seems to be having difficulty with our auto payment and applying it to the wrong place. It's just-
And that explains the discrepancy on the.
Yeah.
the
So
one.
I'll take care of it.
so before you go any further, could we have Gail so that she doesn't have to
Yeah.
sit there?
Need the vendor support.
Okay.
Fine if you can, yeah.
So that would be Ballinger.
Hey,
You're up.
Hi, yeah.
I'm up.
You're up.
I believe for the month, all the maintenance is done within the HOA properties. Trey obviously is around quite a bit, so if we get any additional reports, something we can get to right away, we will. If it's something we've got to contact us or we've had to contact them. So, I think our turnaround time has been pretty good. Unless we get somebody, so they're not gonna be home that day. We are also, I just got a draft of some name tags that we're gonna get, so that we can make notes and leave them for people to say, hey, you know, we couldn't look at your irrigation system today because we couldn't access it, or we fixed the broken sprinkler on 629, or whatever needs to be left, so that they'll know we were there.
Oh, I appreciate that, but
Too much to ask if the technician that drops it shoots a photo of it? Just out of curiosity.
Can you speak up?
Would you,
Is it too much to ask to have the technician who drops it take a photo of it?
no, you probably do that. Can't guarantee the number.
No,
But yeah,
there's a reason.
so yeah, you wanna.
The door check.
Yeah,
Hang it on the
I
door.
never got
Okay,
it. Okay.
okay, yeah, I can mention that to the guys, sure,
yeah.
yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
We replaced two of the controllers in Sagewood. One of them that you had approved, and we'll follow through with for rebuilding, but one of them that we had approved for Sagewood.
Mhm.
When we went there, it was working, maybe when we were there the first time, maybe 5 or something, and we didn't realize it. So we put that one on one in the current villas that we knew was bad, and it's on the outside, so it's easy for us to access, so. We've got to get a ladder for the guys to get the, new rain sensors on, so the 3 new ones are, they're installed, the program we did get the new rain sensors on. But we're gonna get a ladder that'll fit in the pants, we can knock that out.
And while we're talking about this, we did receive a quote for starting to do the new smart timers. She sent us a max quote for one of the areas. So I guess I'll be sending a review and talk about it a bit more later on, but I think that's some bias at this point, right?
He's talking to you, Patty.
Got it.
Oh, so is that-
The quote for the timers that we got from Wallingford?
yes.
Okay.
Uh,
So we're gonna discuss later on in the meeting, but I just want to make sure we have it.
we have the install the 200, we don't have the big one, we just have the,
Okay, that's the two new ones. Okay.
So what community is that?
It's probably PV. There was a question that Trey brought up on Wednesday's meeting, and I don't know if he told you about it, but he asked, what did you do with the old timers? Some of the residents have already inquired if they could keep them. And I mean, I don't have an issue either way, I just wanted to make sure that the board was okay with that.
Again, I guess it might require a little more thought, but I don't initially see about it.
And if they just box them up, set them on their step and say, do what you want with them, it's kind of what I was after this, because I mean, they can be resold if someone wanted to sell them, that's what it comes down to.
That part I'm okay with, but I don't want them to do is a sale of the home and take out the smart timer and put that in the camper.
Understood.
We just want to make sure that that goes out.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah, understood. Okay.
So have we been able to get Trey on the Appleos?
that is
System?
something,
I didn't do it yet, and I'm bringing up Palm since I kind of was inundated with something else yesterday and a couple other things today. The Apple, they're trying to make a group email from ours that's basically got Ballinger at Fisher so that we can send all the things to everybody at the same time.
Yeah, you just,
I certainly could have knocked it out, but I wanted to make sure you knew that it was gonna happen.
would you want an email box for that? Ballinger at? FHRW?
Well, I want to forward to the 3 people that are involved with
All
Ballinger.
right, so let me just make you a distribution group.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now, it just only Gail has access, so when Trey is at the Wednesday meetings and we say, hey, have you seen such and such? He kind of has a blank look on his.
I haven't,
Yeah,
yes.
I wouldn't say
so,
it's kind of a plan.
well, I was trying to be polite for a change. But
I can't care about it myself.
It also puts part of the responsibility on him and less on you. Is that if we have a mailbox where the distribution is to multiple people, including Trey, he has
That way
visibility.
he gets it and others will get it as well, we can follow up with them or just how, make sure that somebody else.
Because we figured it would be you, Paul, and Trey,
Correct, that'd be perfect.
and that would,
Okay,
Yep,
there's just 3 names on the list, easy.
that's perfect. Wait, it doesn't fall on one person, it's less likely.
Right.
to be friends.
The infamous, run over by the bus and.
Right, yes.
Mhm.
That's mine.
I'm sorry, I took it away from you. I do have a question, Gail, on that, repairs that you did on Circuit Bishop recently. You said that there was, vandalism by
Yes.
some kids.
Probably.
What, could you explain what
So
happened?
there were at least 5 hot dogs right in a row.
Mhm.
We see this all the time. They're running during the night. Some kid walks by with a baseball bat, a golf club, whatever.
Waxing,
Just whacks the tops off. of
watch it out, shoot at.
them. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Who are the 3 emails that are going on?
Paul,
What was that?
Gail.
Sorry, Gail.
Gail, Paul,
And Trey.
and Trey.
Are, is your first name that or your first name's last name?
For the
No,
email,
just
it's
email.
just the first name, Gail, not what Paul is Paul B. But
you want me to email it to you?
Yeah.
That'll be all set up by tomorrow.
okay, great.
You doing okay?
Oh, can I have a suggestion. Could you tell everyone about the changes in your company? That would be helpful for the board, I think.
But yeah, Paul can make it tonight. Yes, so, Mark Ballinger, who founded Ballinger Irrigation and has been president for 25 years, retired. He still is on Paul People as a consultant, so he has not left the business entirely. I have taken over as general manager and Paul Vilna will be taking over as. So, Paul will be coming to these meetings, we may drop in on the landscape meeting, last week, in the area. So you may see his name on the first proposals that kind of thing.
So congratulations on all of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I well deserved that. I said it's well deserved, so.
Oh, thank you.
Do we want to look at the Bellinger quotes while we're here?
Okay. I don't have the big one.
It's okay. I can explain because we're not ready to execute it. It was more of making sure we were ready to pull the trigger when we can. $73,000 for the timers that we're starting. It's within the budget that we put out. I wanted to do them in block phases in the next 3 months, so we're not paying for them all at the same time. That's acceptable by the board. We can give it a go ahead, but it's right in the numbers that we put in. The only thing that we're missing is we need to get an electrician to take care of the electrical part of it. So just wanted to let you know that's coming, and I finally did the first quote for the block, so give me, I think it's gonna be.
So you don't want, so you're not gonna put purchase it all,
I can purchase all the timers at one time, it's the installation.
that's fine. But the deal that we have comes out of the lights up
Oh,
on those controls.
that's the discount price.
That's the discount price.
Okay, so
So, yeah.
that's buying all the controllers at one time for a flat fee for trying to get a discount, that would be for just the PV at this point, or is it all of them? For PV and S,
It's both, it's
it's
all,
both.
it was 170.
So that's about 20% less than we anticipated for the equipment, not the install, but the equipment, so it's actually a good number if we can figure a way to pull it off. And no pressure, but 7th, right? So that's all I need. Thanks.
That's next week.
No, that's all I need then. Let me look at the numbers and I will advise the board.
Yeah, and if we can buy them and, yeah, do it. We're gonna need them.
I'm gonna.
But only if we have
Money.
money.
That's
Oh,
coming in a second.
so the only quote that I see in this packet that hasn't been approved or signed is this $1,000 one. For the
Say good.
the Sagewood, is this the ones to raise those,
Risers, yeah,
risers?
across the board for everybody.
And that's it, that's
Sage.
only this, $1,000 for,
Yeah, that, it's a not to exceed, if we can get them always for less than that, we will. Everybody's house is gonna be different. So to come up and come to you guys and say, yeah, it's gonna cost
This month. will be
$100 a house.
Yeah, it needs to be done, the grass for sure, the Sagewood Avenue.
For the $1,000, Sagewood is. Okay, so right now we are looking at if we go with my 2-month lead, we're $20,000 in arrears. But, so you know, taking the uncleared payables and that, we still have $40,000 doesn't carry over to next month. So the odds of $1,000 is gonna be fine by the end of this pay period. First, we'll have the $1,000. But I'm not gonna spend, $15,000 on anything for them to spend, especially not snow.
No.
Okay.
So, okay, so we,
I'm okay with spending that. I'm still cautionary spending on Sagewood at this point. You haven't come out of the tree expense.
but if we spend 1,000, that should eliminate any future having to do sod.
And that's why I'm for it.
It's gonna help save the sod,
Yeah,
that's.
That's what I'm for. I'm trying to.
That's to be a lot of, hope say to sod.
Save the sod.
Never sign.
I've done that before, usually when when your irrigation specialist is telling you you gotta raise your heads, it's probably, in both cases, it's too late, you got that.
Okay, so I make a motion that we accept this, not to exceed $1,000 to raise pop-ups for Sagewood for $1,000.
Let's put 1,000, yeah.
Not to exceed 1,000.
We'll monitor it if we get to the point where, we still have something to do, we'll let you know.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Just a point of clarification.
Yeah.
The 1,000 is for all of them. So,
All of Sagewood.
All
I'll
of
say
Sagewood.
okay.
All those in favor? Aye,
I
any opposed? Motion
Yeah.
carried.
did
He's
Will,
muted.
Will's muted.
Will,
Just give a thumbs up if you're okay. Right. He doesn't have the picture on either.
I think you have to send.
It was I for me.
Yeah, now he unmuted.
Okay, everything else I have here on beyond, looks like it was already signed off.
yes,
That's mine.
there's under 100.
Should we?
What about the last one? We still have a couple
And the
of
Western sign just.
replace two controllers and then one function for 1080.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's not signed.
What's that?
Not signed, you're right. We have one here for 1080. It's the last one on the Ballinger. It was to replace two controllers that no longer function. Were these the two? Okay,
So
so,
this work was done already.
No,
No,
we weren't gonna, we did one of them because we had a spare controller from leftover from Sagewood.
Very
One
well.
that we had,
This is
I
very
you guys
well.
had to prove that.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna talk
So-
about it.
Villas came out of the lead this month. We have $13,849 in spending limits for what's available to us. So this is, there's funds for it.
But so this 1080, we're talking about the 1080 quote, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So if we're gonna, before the 7th, if we're gonna buy all new controllers anyway, do we want to spend $1,000 on them?
There are two types of controllers. So these are the new hunters, right?
yeah.
Those are
The
part of it.
HPC.
Those were not, because that proposal was done literally right after the last meeting, so those were not part of the 173.
So they would be
173
additional to-
minus,
Would it be prudent to include them in the same numbers? To get the same numbers out of them?
HPC quote,
Probably.
the new ones.
So-
we're putting on.
we can't do anything about the 3 that we already bought. But, if you wanna, if you want me to order 175 instead of 173.
Okay.
As long as you let me know before July 7th, I'll place the order.
It's like a 20% discount. Is that what you said?
It's about from what the normal price is. It's actually a good discount because of the quantity. It's a large quantity and we're trying to take advantage of that. So. Okay.
So,
So we'll be more,
So-
when you guys finalize everything, just, whatever. So it's,
so disregard this, then.
disregard that one, we will send you, we will send a bill for the paired bill,
It's
it's
time out.
one control we've already stuff that we knew was gonna happen.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Okay.
great. All right,
All right.
And then this calendar of,
This is the map that I sent.
that's still accurate, right?
this is,
We're gonna stick with that. And I can get you a new one that doesn't have the dates on it, because we.
Yeah, this is-
We'll do the first Thursday, second Wednesday.
this,
So we're gonna go in there and
That
check.
is when they go around.
Yeah.
and check.
That's right, it's so, I'm worried about.
So instead of date.
Yeah, it's all-
specific,
They can fix it as well.
say,
Yeah, the
Thursday, second,
All the fun stuff.
and she's gonna redo them.
Yeah, I'll get you an updated,
Perfect.
yeah, map on that.
Are you guys coming the third or no, that would be the sixth.
Encore.
Are you coming on
Um,
the sixth?
That's right.
So that's gonna be on the
You
other
have
side,
one
so that's,
system.
because I have a homeowner that's been asking.
You have
to
another-
stay off.
I'm not sure about.
If
the
there's
other
something
agencies.
special.
Yeah.
maybe, maybe. If
I think
if
Like-
there's a period,
I think
somebody
we have a
comes-
different irrigation.
Okay,
I think we have a different company.
Whenever I break the head there. Once I touch.
It's actually devolving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not down until that's correct.
Okay.
So yeah, this is great. Do we have an email that we're putting
Yep.
together to get this out to?
I put it up, yeah, I put it up every week.
Oh, you do that?
They say they can't do that.
That,
Because they're not logging in.
I don't know, what does Marilyn say?
I'll ask her.
This is by the way, this is a great one, so
Oh,
you
thank
updated, that, I think that's wonderful.
Thank you for that.
And thank you, yeah, I think it, post it being that on
Yeah,
the website,
This is great, I agree.
so,
We don't need to yell anymore.
I don't think
Well,
so.
we need
Thanks,
it.
Gail.
Yeah,
We
thank
need
you.
you all the time.
Yeah, we do.
It's always nice, it's always nice to meet that, thank you very much.
Yes, and
Happy Fourth.
Thank you guys, well, do you guys need anything turned off inside HOA for the fourth? You don't, do you? Everything's gonna be outside of the HOA
Right,
areas.
all our such.
Okay.
They're in CBD.
I'll check
They're
with the
in CBD.
CBD. Yeah. Just do me a favor, and pray for rain, and for rain, that means turn everything. I would like to be able to do.
No, that's a real good point, Gail, actually, on the first.
I don't think it's not, you're.
It's not your-
Not a call, it's, okay. Very well.
We should not have that, I don't think people turn it off at all.
it's CBD.
Yeah, I'll double check with the CBD.
We're using some areas out front of the Oaks area for an event. And if the-
Both fields in the Oaks, the back field and the front field.
Those are
Back is
irrigated.
not irrigated, but the front one does.
Okay, okay,
The front entrance area. and
Yeah.
Around that field where the grass is irrigated, but have things set up there.
should it be during the day?
Well, CBD.
5 p.m. to 10 p.m. roughly, on the first.
I'll just, first.
Saturday.
You would ask everybody to. So they shut that off.
Put it right in the lane. Okay,
Okay.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
What do we do if we regular
That's a
fireworks comes in, it's a house?
fun.
That is not irrigated.
Irrigation.
Oh, it's just-
Yeah, it's irrigation is different.
Just for clarification, we're waiting,
How long is
so we
it?
make sure we have money for the 173.
We got one.
We're gonna-
Yeah.
So we're just tabling that, or we're gonna table it? Or is the board approving as long as we have the money
I think
for?
with my injection about where the money's coming from would be one that can approve it. I don't think we can approve it otherwise.
You talking about the controllers?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean comes back in an email, so we can buy them all, and let's all respond, we can get them purchased, and then we'll ratify it.
Yeah, the only reason I wanna get it started is when we get through the end of the season, and it's gonna take them months to put these in, it's not something that's gonna happen one weekend, so.
Okay, so back to officer reports, I was done, and Mark, did you have anything to add?
Nothing.
Community managers with those.
Do I have to read it?
Well, don't we have a treasurer? Isn't he?
Even the man, first one, just
We do.
I don't care what order it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sean.
No worries, doesn't matter to me. That's what officer reports, that was just kind of stand over with.
No receipt.
Anything else like that? No, well, okay. You know what it is. Yeah, so the, okay, so, what's changed is, of course, we pulled PV out of the dark and they've got some money to spend these days. Obviously, the same type of press is just sailing along with a lot of money, we're getting ready to do some mulch and so forth that in there and spend a little bit of it, but not as much as we have, so. That's because we've sold off all the units and we're collecting money more than we anticipated for, so they'll end up with a surplus at the end of the year, for sure. What's different, that needs to be discussed a little bit, is that we still have 65,200 in the unclaimed payables for the master, and the purpose of that was, we did pay off the equipment that was in there and the insurance this month. I put the $51,000 in the associate in there so that we can sit on that just in case something happens and we have to spend it. If we spend it and we don't have it, then we're talking about a special assessment. So I don't want that to happen. So John and I spoke about this earlier. We both thought it was a good idea leaving liabilities. I'm not, I'm speaking myself, John, please let me know. So we're leaving it in there until George says, you don't need to do anything with it. It's your money to spend. Then we'll have some money to do some of these improvements that we've been waiting on. That makes sense to you
It's
guys.
in the 65 grand.
Yeah, so 12 of that 65 is actually, for other purposes that runs are to. So the, in any event, Westlake is going through money a little faster this year because we increased quite a bit of their landscaping. We've got about $1,200 left over each month right now to increase the landscaping, to do the push mowers and so forth. So when I spent it's $4,000 for the planting that they did, it'll take us to the end of the year to have any extra money in Westlake. Good thing is that we're not having any problems with collections whatsoever at Westlake, so nothing's in the way. So it's going to look tight, but if you notice, it's not the full 2 months. So that means that we're still ahead. We just don't really have as much money as I'd like to see in them. To do other things that we had planned, I don't think it's going to be possible this year. So the same problem with Sage Road, we just spent nearly $15,000 on trees, and so that obviously is taking a chunk out of that money. Part of it is still due. That's still in that $20,000, $5,250. The intent is to pay it this month, so they'll still be $20,000 behind next month. If that makes sense. Any questions?
And how are they on the collection?
So Sagewood and Westlake are absolutely perfect. And we have the pair drills and master, I believe between those two, the 20 some $1,000 that's outstanding there. 25% of it is the one gentleman that we're waiting on that had to call the depot and so forth. So
Have you heard anything further with that?
We're going to try, hearing is August 25th. We're not needing.
the good news on the collections part of it is a couple of the larger ones that owe us money, Melissa was able to collect this month, which is great. So the increase in the master receivables is really a whole bunch of people who just didn't pay 1 month at this point. They got everything bills. They'll probably pay it and it'll be fine. In light of that, I wanted to make sure everyone heard about what happened with Appfolio. There's two things that took place in Appfolio. Appfolio added a preference due to California law that requires a maximum amount to be taken from their account under any circumstances. They set it for a preference of rounded up to the nearest $100 from what your dues amount was. So if we take the dues amount, it'll always go through. So if someone comes in and pays their dues regularly, it's not going to affect anything. For someone who didn't pay their dues the first month, it won't affect anything. The third month that they missed, it would only take up to the limit that they set, and then we would be chasing the other part of it until they finally became aware they were late. That's the only downside that I can see. You can set that preference to anything you want. So if you wanted to set it, you're only allowed to take $68. That means you would never ever get the late fees or the interest unless we put them up for collection, which would
So
be
month 3 becomes a problem. But
we're in collections by the way.
I was just gonna say, we're in collections by then, so they're not paying us.
Melissa's already got it in her hot little hands and we're good to go. And we've been doing that religiously and it's absolutely helped. There's no question about it for sure. So the other thing that's changed is that the end of our first year with Appfolio is coming shortly. And Appfolio has been giving us e-checks for free. They would like to pass $1 fee on to the members, or we can, for any member across the board, it'd be $1 fee per month if they did it, which is ridiculous. $12 more a year for everybody to do that, which they will add $1 to our monthly fee and waive it as many times as you want to make a payment. So either we pass it on to the homeowners or we add it into the dues, but it is an increase that I did calculate in the budget. Knew it was coming. It's not a surprise to me. Just want to make sure which way you guys would like to go.
Hands down, I added in the dues.
Okay, that was my suggestion. But
So,
We want to advocate each other. I don't want to see that, I don't want to see the homeowner at the end of the day seeing that dollar charge.
So I have to approve that change, so they'll make the change, and that means that our fee goes up from $1 a month to $2 a month per user. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
no, I'm lost.
Okay, please ask.
What is this e-check?
It's what they've been paying with for free. Now, if you're paying with credit card or, debit card, that doesn't change.
So we've been pushing ACH because it's free.
right,
We're telling
At
them to
this
use
point-
ACH because it's free.
uh-huh,
And right now, Appfolio is saying it's not free anymore. So we're not saying we can't use it, we're saying, how do we push the funds? Someone has to pay for it. It's either we pay for it through dues or pass through to the homeowner. I think it's a bad idea to pass it through every month because we want them to continue using the check.
And in fact, you could promote that, it's a HOA paid service.
It's really good service.
Might even go a little farther for them to use it if that's the case. I don't know, you decide what the marketing is, but it is something that we're gonna incur in cost one way or the other.
so. I understand this correctly, you're saying that if my dues are paid from my bank account, within it,
You're doing it through Appfolio.
yes,
Yes,
through Appfolio from my bank account. Through with an ACH, there's $1 charge. That's a good law. I know, I mean, what.
The debit card's even worse.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason I say that is that, like. River Hills Country Club just went from. This year went from having your dues paid from a debit card or a credit card, a credit card to
only
A-
ACH.
only ACH.
Which I actually agree with that, yeah.
So that's why I'm saying for Appfolio to now charge $1 is a ripoff.
I agree.
About 20% of our payments are done on paper. And, so one thing that I did calculate into this in my head and I'll disclose it to you is that means that 20% of the people would never get charged the ACH fee and we wouldn't have to pay for them unless we pass them on to the other people. So we're gonna be absorbing $1 per person, whether they use it or not. So that's the other thing, the reason to push it, because, I can tell you between Jennifer and I, how many hours do you think we spent on the checks? I mean, really?
Yeah.
We're burning up that money, I promise you that.
Oh, I know, I'm completely against checks. I get it.
So I don't know if there's a good way to go around this. I've adopted the accounting on this with some reservations. I like the interface and the communications on it. I don't think we can go changing things anymore. There are no other hidden fees that when I signed this agreement, it's good for 2 years.
We're not leaving yet, totally, but is there any pushback on this?
Push back down.
I don't, tell them no.
Negotiate, you mean? You want me to try to-
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
fine.
better term.
We're gonna pay at full. You just said we pay it per
Well,
house or not, whether they pay with.
Either the members are going to, or we're going to.
So if I choose to walk a check down here and turn it in here, I don't have to pay that $1 for it.
right now,
Or is it billed to my account anyway?
No, it's not,
Service fee?
never built to your account. Right now, all the fees that we're talking about, we build to the HOA specifically, not to the members, none at all.
the problem is technically, if you walk a check down here, it's free, but it's preface for now. The checks continue to be an increasing problem going to, process.
I agree with you that. I'm not trying to push us towards checks.
But
What I'm
but
saying,
this
I guess,
dollar
so doing the-
fee would push us towards.
Exactly, which is why it's better that the HOA swallow that it's an HOA provided service and not directly with the homeowner. If the homeowner sees this direct charge, we're gonna come down with one check.
Which is why I think the idea of Sean trying to negotiate, eliminating. these fees.
I'm absolutely glad.
Well, I think it's worth it, yeah, that's why I mentioned, like, maybe they'll meet us halfway.
Do we have to pay the $1? Is it $1 per account? So 1,238 houses, whether they pay with ACH or not?
In this case, to eliminate it for everyone, yes.
So we're,
if they do it, if I'm not mistaken, it'll be $1 per, it'll be $2 per household. Because for people in the service area, the G pay. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Service
you're
area
doing
is separate, yeah.
It's,
Wow.
so the delta balances out the checks, is what I'm trying to say.
So it's almost, so it's another $20,000 a year we have to pay to our folio.
Well, right now, it'd just be 3 months worth, but yes, next year.
Mm-mm.
Here's the problem. And we'll see, let's have Sean negotiate it and see what we're at.
It's sort of a bait and switch. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it is a
wasn't
bait,
bait,
but the
but
problem
they
is,
tell us-
because they've been baited and switched themselves.
Mhm.
The banking system is probably charging them for e-checks. The only way they can do it is pass the buck downhill, and the only way we can do it is pass the buck downhill. This is just the banking system. No. I wouldn't be shocked, and I gotta look into it, but I wouldn't be shocked if everyone's not starting to charge an ACH fee.
Our bank charges $1 per transaction to do ACHs. Truist does. I stopped, that's why I cut paper checks. I stopped doing it, because the first time we did it, I had like $300 worth of charge. I'm like,
So I don't necessarily blame that folio for this, because I'm sure it's the banking system at large that's causing this problem, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to negotiate this with the state.
yeah, if they
They might
negotiate,
just
they'll be
say-
discounting on a regular fee, I'm sure that would be
Exactly.
ACH.
Yeah, they might just say, no, we can't, because it's past the fee.
I will find out. I will get something in writing and find out for you guys. It's not a problem for me.
Thanks, Sean.
Appreciate it,
Yep.
thank you.
So let me ask one clarification point. If we follow the thing where we pay for all the units, right?
Right.
But if we don't, then the homeowner pays for it,
Per check.
they'll only pay per check, so there'll be some people who won't get the $1.
Everyone will get $1, all the service areas will get $2.
But if he's saying.
But if they
use
don't
the
use
credit
But
it,
if they don't do the e-check, they would not.
But I think the problem is, John, future, if they continue to do checks, we're gonna place it out.
so what I'm trying,
Our internal processing of paper checks.
Taking up
I understand that. I just, I'm wondering if, we, in the negotiations, we might keep in mind that we come up with something in the interim to the end of the year and we incorporate it in the new structure for the next year rather than drop another thing in.
That's actually pretty very well.
The other thing they did for us last year is that we signed up in June and we didn't really, they didn't start charging us till September. And they're willing to do that again, but the new fee won't kick in to September, although the company-wide it's kicking in on July 1st. So they already told me that it's on that, so we didn't really start off. So that's a slight discount, but let me see if we can figure out if they can say, okay, we trigger it on the first of the year or something. I'll figure out some kind of multiple faceted negotiation.
I do agree with Tom that if it's unavoidable, if there's no way to avoid it, it should be included. Just like included in the payment, right? So I pay 68 a month, next year I pay 70 a month,
Yeah,
but it won't be 69 plus $1 fee. They'll just be set.
Well, they wouldn't see that, but I don't think the dollar would be charged separately, but if it's direct pass-through, you could charge for it because they, I mean, we're
no,
paying
but you
for it.
see it.
Yeah.
It's not a separate transaction, but you see it, and you
Yes.
get pissed off, and you don't wanna do it.
Right.
You wanna.
So if we include it in the dues, it sits in the dues. Then, there ought to be a way that we can work with that folio to only pay for the people that use the checks, not for everybody.
And, okay,
And so that way, we might be able to absorb it $1 relative to that. And only pay a portion, pay a relative fee for operating on our side. And then we'll monitor it to see how it goes.
I agree with you. The problem that I think that may arise is that folio's trying to sell it the way they're selling it into the service. So in other words, when you log into your account, if we didn't pay for it, you're not gonna have the option to reach it. It's just not gonna be.
No, I'm not saying we don't pay for it. What I'm saying is that, let's say, for example, we've got a pretty good example of who pays by e-checks and who
sure,
doesn't.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So let's say 30% of the people are paying by e-check today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do we only get charged 30%? Or do we have to cover everybody?
Okay, it would be $1 across the board for each unit, but not for each account. So we have multiple accounts per unit for the service areas, 2 accounts apiece. So in your scenario, let's just say, we say, okay, we'll pay the fee, you charge us or whoever does the e-check and let the rest fall.
Mhm.
So for the service areas, you would get $2 a piece for them from the homeowner association, and for everyone else that does an e-check, which is 82% of the payments are done by e-check, would be a dollar a piece. So what they're trying to say is they think that if we just paid $1 per unit, it would save us money. It's what they're trying to sell us. And I think they're right.
I don't see how 30% equals 100%.
I was
Yeah.
30% equal 100.
Well, in my example, if 30% of people using e-checks, we just pay for their 30% as part of an operating cost.
Right.
Okay, and so that 30% gets added into everybody's dues at the time. I mean, get,
Part of the expenses, right?
right. So, but what you're saying is they're trying to get us to somehow either directly or indirectly pay $1 for everybody. even
It's a
ones that
direct-
Don't use an
They're
e-check.
just gonna take it from the transfer they do for our fees each month, but I guess I segued, and I apologize, I segued into the real example as opposed to your hypothetical.
Mhm.
In your example, it makes perfect sense. In the real example, 82% of the people are paying electronically. So, and most of them are from the service areas, so they do that. We're probably looking at somewhere in the area of about 1,600 payments that are done electronically. If I pay 1,238 as opposed to 1,600 payments electronically, I'm saving money. That's what I see. So I can actually do a spreadsheet and do the math for you, tell you exactly what it's costing us, so it gives us a better assessment.
Mhm.
Because it's hypothetical at this point or estimated. So, and then make a negotiation. I can do that, it's not a problem. I think it's the wise thing to do. See where the delta is that we can save the most money, basically.
Right.
And if I can get them to come down on it until, hey, we're not gonna, can you kick this in the first year? We're not prepared to change our duty structure or fixed structure, and I can tell them on that.
Mhm.
So just to clarify, what they're saying is we pass on the buck. It'll go per.
I'm sorry, did you just say you're gonna pass the buck?
No,
Okay, just,
it'll go per e-check, done per household. If we choose to incorporate the cost, they're gonna charge us for every account.
right.
So my question is, that I would ask it fully, is, why in the world would they do that?
Because they see that we're actually doing more e-checks than the 1,238 daily charges.
They see we're doing more checks than 1230. That's what you're losing.
Yeah,
Because we don't just do 1,238 checks.
Mhm.
I see what you're
the
saying,
service
but you're saying
area.
there's two accounts for the service, there. So it's not 1238, it's not the real number, right?
Correct, that's what it's
1238 plus,
400 and some odd.
yeah,
So it's the 1,600 that he was talking about.
They're saying, we'll charge you 1,238 as a discount,
Mhm.
or we'll just charge $1 per e-check to your members, it's fine.
oh, they're saying 1238 as a discount, that's where I missed that, okay, it is, yeah, I'm sorry.
But I can give you the exact numbers, that would help, understand?
When does this kick in where we,
They're supposed to send me a form in the next few days.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to jump on it. I'll get the numbers this weekend. I was expecting to see it today. That's why I opened my laptop a little while, put the email. So,
So the whole thing already kind of stinks, and they're already offering a pretty weighted discount at 1238.
right, and I'm gonna try to negotiate it down from there. Just
Yeah.
put it out.
how about
Yeah,
50 cents per
that's right.
house at 12:30?
But you can't,
I mean, it does stink, right?
I-
They're charging us a fee,
If they give me,
pay them their fee.
guys, if they give me the Vinci knife, I'm gonna take the deal.
it's,
So just so you know.
it's because all the banks are losing so much money these days
Yeah.
that they keep jacking up the price.
get passed down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my bank does not charge me for e-checks.
Well, that's because you're a good person. The rest of us are scum.
Wait,
We just need to keep
That makes
that in
sense.
mind.
It does do that.
Sean, do you have anything else?
No, that's it. That was one side. Thank
Okay.
you, sorry.
No, thank you.
thank you. Community managers report.
Okay, did everyone get to read it so I can give you other updates instead of this?
They do this.
I did read it.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Mark's not gonna read it?
No.
But you read it all, didn't you? I know you did.
It looks tired.
Yeah,
She admitted she read it.
Okay.
I
Do you
did.
want me to read it out loud?
I do. Community will-
Okay.
The community has not read it.
Is it this one? It's this right here, right?
Okay, question, do we have any community besides,
Action items.
Will?
Do you have a paper copy?
Oh, okay, so we have some community. That's
We
right.
have community.
All right, for the community. It's management, so it's this whole thing.
Yes.
Okay. Management report, Ballinger Irrigation is continuing to have the inspections and replacements done as needed. You will find a few proposals for review and approval, which I think we did already.
Mhm.
True Green has applied the application for the entire community, is working on the areas that need the application to reinforce the turf and the trees. Sunrise Landscape has been maintaining the grass areas, installed at no cost to the association, flowers at the pool in the planters. The Fit Center is almost complete. There are 2 more machines coming July 21st, Stairmaster and the elliptical. The 2 Pelotons have been delivered, and the bench seat is being quoted by FitRev for, what do you call it, refurbishment. Yeah. Lowe's Painting has begun painting at the pool. They're done, right?
Yes, now that.
Right.
I did.
So painting at the pool has completed.
Mhm.
Let's see, Jamin Services was on vacation and was injured, so was not on site for the past 2 weeks. So if anyone noticed a lack of repairs, that's why.
That's Jeremy. Mhm.
Sagewood, there are 2 proposals for pressure washing of the homes in Sagewood. We'll get to those in a minute. The 3 trees have been removed and payment on the last one is not due until July. The stumps have been ground and spread. The dangerous tree has now been fully removed. There's one additional tree that Nature Tree Resource is going to keep an eye on over the next few months. Dangerous tree. There are a few proposals to review for the Sagewood property in the packet, if the budget allows. Westlake. The tree company has reviewed the trimming of the common area trees and will submit a recommendation for Q4. A proposal will follow as time gets closer. Over in the paired villas, they have been inspected, and paired villas are still having a hard time getting into the units. This is for irrigation. There are 2 homes that feel that they will keep the irrigation controls on their own. They have been asked for the settings and how they have been asking for the settings and how to work the unit. I am asking the board, this is Patty. Patty is asking the board to give guidance for this situation. The owner doesn't water and wants to have sod replacement.
How do we, what do we do?
That, that's a discussion that should probably be open at some point, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, let's
Shall-
finish. Yeah. let's
Can
finish.
you, okay, the violation would, could, should be solely on the homeowner, yet there are still required to pay monthly assessments for this. Sandpaper Crest. There's going to be a complete inspection by management, and there have been some concerning areas such as basketball hoops, oil stains on the pavement, multiple plants, and planters in the front yard. Pool maintenance, Suncoast Pools has not completed the violations, filters and hydraulic oil. Sean is starting this week.
Stating, that's the word stating.
Yeah, he stated he starting this week.
Mhm.
The filters I have asked the new pool company to price because these have not been completed. And a new company should start in the July timeframe. In collections, Mankin Law Group has been working diligently with the 9 people that are currently in collections. And additional 4 properties have been sent this month for being 60 days delinquent. Lastly, not in the manager's report, but just from the VP, I think we've kicked out kids 3 times this week, smoking either in the game room or in the children's playground, smoking weed. And the cops confiscated a gallon-sized Ziploc bag of marijuana 2 days ago from some kids in the pool. Completes the manager's report.
Almost,
Almost?
almost.
What else do I have to do?
So, and it's not really, it's just new stuff that came in, so
Okay.
I asked everybody if they could swing by the pool, to see if there was any things that need to be done.
Did not get an opportunity.
That's okay. This is their invoice, so once you give me the okay, there's a few things I need them to come back and touch up.
I didn't get a chance to look today.
I was, could I get,
The knee-high walls, did they think those?
No, they pressure wash them.
They pressure wash?
Mhm. So definitely we're by the planters, I don't know if there's too much rain, but the bubblers, Jen and I were there today. The bubblers, the soil is coming over the side of it, so it looks like they did do it, but now it's gotten dirty.
So just to reference, you guys know that we have 6,000 plus that comes out of the reserve for this number, so it's gonna be 4,000 that are done to the come out of the operating funds, 8,000 that we have left. Okay.
So, he says something quite a tail in here. Mark, was that comment about the evictions? Was that your security report? Or is that something
that's it.
for?
Evictions, what are you talking about?
Kicking out the kids.
Oh,
You're talking about the children.
No, it's just for general situational awareness.
It's just something him and I have been dealing with. I was over here, what was that, Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
With the kids over here that decided to break in and crawl, and the sheriffs were here. I'm actually kind of pissed at the sheriff. Sheriff, when I'm here talking to kids, giving me all types of options and being a cop. And I even tell the man, I've heard your whole conversation on camera, and he still continues. When I change, he's telling the kids he's not the weed police. That doesn't matter. They have a handle of vodka on them.
Two.
He's walking to the child's car to get his ID, and he's gonna let them drive off.
And he did let them go.
He did confiscate everything,
He did.
but he wasn't
they were-
going to.
Right.
He's very wishy-washy.
Mhm.
You know, he's telling the poor kids, and I understand it's fish on, I don't have much to do.
And yet these kids don't.
Yeah, wow.
But they don't live here.
And they
No.
don't.
They don't even, they all lived in, fishing. Or,
Do you find out?
the corner of fishing.
It's something we need to get handle on. Yesterday, there were 6 kids that got out of the car and went over to the playground here and were smoking weed and doing whatever else they were doing. And then when they left here, they were driving around the community throwing fireworks at people that were out jogging. So it's just something,
And they got mouthy with Mark yesterday.
yeah, a little bit.
And they took a baseball bat to 5 sprinkler heads, I'm pretty sure.
I'm
Could be the
No.
same ones.
I don't know, but anyway.
I'm sure I can get cameras on that stuff too.
Okay, well, certainly an issue.
Just missing.
Problem.
So do we want to go back to the issue here on your report on paired villas and the 2 homeowners and their irrigation?
Yeah, I see, this is gonna be a short-term issue.
Okay.
Right? Because by Q4, we're gonna be popping in new timers.
Right, but we have one that's indemnant about us replacing facade at
Oh,
about,
that's Sagewood.
let's say, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
One, I want to not pay PV, but Sagewood that wants us to replace the side and it costs about $5,000.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about
No, it's
paired
okay,
villas.
because it's a good example. They're gonna be going through the same thing. So you have some.
No, let's go back to, I want to talk about Patty's report here on paired villas,
Okay,
on the
sorry,
2,
just go.
please. 2 homeowners that say they want to keep the irrigation controls on their own.
Mhm. They won't, I believe they're the 2 that were verbally abusive to Ballinger.
Is there soccer?
Almost.
Almost. Me personally, I don't care. That's just my viewpoint on it. I just let sleeping dogs lie, because we're gonna rip that control up, put it in the new one.
But we have to get into their garage in order to.
No, we
No,
don't.
we don't.
No,
We just
we
got-
don't.
I didn't do it.
We do not. It's cut in the ground at the bell.
Mhm.
Comes right up the side of the house. You control it.
We do not have to.
Then we can replace
Is
this.
that okay? Okay. And I wouldn't even replace this sign, because I have it in writing for both of them that they're not letting us in. They wanna know how to program it, they wanna know the times.
Or, yeah, so, or five.
There's this cool thing called YouTube.
I don't give any assistance.
Yeah,
They continue, first of all, if they're not watering,
Mhm.
they continue to, they'll get violations and fines. And we're not replacing any sod.
at least, yeah.
I think one of the things that we,
Make
ought-
that go down.
one of the things we might ought to consider too, probably results in a change in our fee structure. If we have some of these people that keep turning their water off, so they create a problem for everybody else.
Mhm.
I think we should find them the cost of their side up front.
That's what I said.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
and we'll hold it in escrow when it comes time to.
Sometimes
stop
Pete
it,
and I,
We'll just work
figure
it
it
out.
out And charge them another fee for the
Absolutely.
escrow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If they're gonna act that way, then we'll be more aggressive.
That, it's a fantastic idea.
But
I question if we can do it, because we're limited to what we can actually find for a population.
So I started my comment by saying we may have to change some of our fines to accommodate this. Okay, so-
I mean, the chart, we're bound by it. I don't think we can change it.
actually, I think we
I
can,
think we
because it's
can.
not a fine, it's a cost of repair.
Let's say, because we're not doing it as a fine, we're going to.
It's a George question, but I'm pretty sure there's a gray area that we can get away with it, just saying.
I was for it.
I didn't hear what you're saying.
It's right.
Go
No, Jason's right. Like, you could do a specific assessment to the homeowner. For the,
In the
Which is the cost of the repair.
To a single homeowner.
Yeah.
You just can't fine them. You can't say it's a fine that
Right,
No,
over $25.
yeah. It's
Exactly.
just gonna be a-
Big thing is
it's
it's
a
a
fix.
required upfront thing. So we'll hold it until sod needs to be replaced,
Mhm.
whether it's 2 months, 6 months or whatever. But at the time we replace their sod, they have to pay another
All the
deposit.
cost centers,
No, that's great. I was just thinking, how do we determine when they get off the prepayment?
When there's a new owner that moves in, so it's gonna accommodate.
I like
I was
it.
wondering what this duration was, okay?
I like that.
the fitness center, I like it.
Me too, because I've been bothering Tommy like crazy. Can't we just send him to the train?
I like it.
Yeah, we're good.
So go for that. Fitness center, what's the status on the floor? I know that you didn't like, you said that there were some issues.
I like the gaps in the floor.
And have they ever come back and fixed them?
Maybe contact Marilyn. I thought she was coming out to look at it.
Not since we put the furnace, the
Equipment
equipment in.
So the floor is,
It's one of those,
It's a puzzle.
interlock.
yeah,
Mhm.
so it's not meeting. I saw some uneven spots in the.
Mhm.
What's with the self-leveling floor issue?
When they originally came, they didn't take up all the glue. So they put that extra, layman on it.
It's actually a floated, mastic that they lay, that's, it's self-leveling, it basically
Right.
flows out and gets flat so that you put stuff down flat. That's what it's supposed to do.
I
So
don't think it's.
Something.
it's not doing it, so I would say no to the 675. And I would bill them for this $499 because from Bandit, because they did not finish the floor when they should have. And we had this
Second
additional,
floor.
yes,
Mhm.
we had this additional cost that we should not have had due to their delay.
We discussed that we would try to charge back whatever cost we had to pay.
Yeah.
for that, so that's.
And fix the floor.
I agree with all that. I'm just missing something in translation. I remember, saw an email coming through. Marilyn said what day next week.
Did you?
Yeah, and that she was going to, if you have the bill actually showing her amount, if the HOA has been hurt. she-
Okay.
she'll work
Yeah,
on
because she wanted to
Yeah.
send it. Okay.
We need to find that email and make sure you get back with her on actual status.
But that's my feeling on these two bills.
Okay.
And to fix the floor to your special.
So one of the things is fairly obvious about this floor, I mean, it's a glued down product that's interlocking. And once it's glued down, you pull it up and get the joints to seat together, it's like laying on the whole floor.
Mhm.
So it's basically, what they didn't do is that you're supposed to, they try to let it acclimate long enough, but you're supposed to actually roll it in place by pounding the end and then roll it down so it stays that. They pressed it straight down, we watched them do it, we not been watched, and when you press it straight down, it leaves joints. So the insulation isn't done correctly, but are we gonna be able to make them, I mean, they pull that floor, but it's trash.
No, but if there's a couple squares here or there that they can
Yeah,
fix, then fix.
those floors will be trash, but you replace them with new ones.
Yeah, it looks good.
But just saying, how invasive do you wanna get with this, and how important?
Not that.
So we get all of that.
Well,
But
I'm sorry, but if we're going to, how much money did we spend on this new gym?
Oh,
But Kathy, there's nothing wrong.
$124,000.
No, there's nothing wrong with the flooring. Before you say there's something wrong with the flooring, you need to go in there. It looks fine. Are there a couple spots that have some gaps between the puzzle pieces? Yeah, maybe they could pound out and pound on every. But yeah, we're not gonna move all the machines back out. We rip up the floor, we do the entire floor, put the machines back.
You're a nicer person than I am.
Kathy, you need someone to move the machine.
You're a nicer person than I am.
Kathy, they're gonna say no until it comes.
You're a nicer person than I am.
They're just gonna say no.
Yeah,
You know, they just won't,
It's easy,
they just won't get paid.
right?
exactly,
They won't care at that point because it's gonna cost them 10 grand to fix it.
okay.
I think we're at the other items.
Can we go back to the. Take for a moment.
Go ahead.
So one of the things we discussed at the,
We don't have numbers on yet, I'd rather know.
why not, but he gave me an estimate, I'm just going with the estimate, at the stage where the homeowner has a very large wedge, trees. The grass is got fungus, we treated it, fungus or porcelain grass is caused by overwatering for the most part. The issue is in this area is that we have spray and rotors on the same zones. Most of the houses in that area are 2 zones only. They have a drip zone and everything else is on the other zone. So when they get the water to the right level for the grass and the rotors, the sprayers are going nonstop and dumping water in the area under the trees, it's causing the fungus. Homeowner never got this is his statement, never got the grass that he was supposed to get. He got the pieces that were left over before when they replaced the grass, and he wants his grass replaced. Cost of the grass is approximately $5,000. In addition to that, sprinklers would have to absolutely be corrected, which means we're getting some numbers to try to get the zones broken apart to start with. That will be the only correction. So my suggestion, when we were talking about this, is maybe we should try with the salvage grass. It's not dead yet. You know, raking up the dead, putting in lawn soil and see if it'll fill in, get the sprinklers corrected, at least give them that. It's way less expensive. Tom, the landscaping manager, agreed with that path, but I'm dead set against replacing sod at this point. I know that you don't want to price, so you don't want me to talk about what I just said. So the reality is that we keep throwing money at this, and they're, you know, they assume if they let it go 6 months and tell us that it's dead after the fact is okay. I mean, we got guys inspecting it, we do the best we can with the sprinklers, we just have, we're 2 months into this new company. I would love to replace it repaired, but it's another $5 grand out of everyone's pocket for that.
We have a budget and say you put up $10,000 for
So I'll
sod,
replace it this year, yeah.
and 5 of it would go to one person, no.
So we're informing you that because it's probably gonna, from what Patty told me and Tom, it's probably gonna be a problem for us. As a board.
We need to fix what caused the fungus infection first and then look at replacement of sod after that. It's had some time to take effect. So if it's overwatering, then we get Ballinger after they fix the sprinklers. This is basically your plan, right? This is what you're saying? Okay, yes, then I agree with that plan. We don't want to put new sod in and just have that get fungus too.
Stupid, good money after that, right? We just keep the person solid.
So let's see if, right, if we get the fungus under control. And then the fungus stops growing, like, okay, we fixed the fungus problem. Now we can put in grass.
Okay, so that's the,
But, no, there's a step before that. There's a step before that, is, as Sean said. Instead of just saying, okay, we fixed the fungus, you know, got rid of the fungus, let's put in sod. No, let's do try and get repair.
Concur. I'm cutting to the chase. Basically, you know, if let's try all the measures first and then replace the sod.
There, as
The sod-
this last.
Because the sod might recover. I haven't seen this house, but it's like.
it will recover.
It will
I went over and looked at it, it will recover if we do this.
You stop dumping gallons and gallons of unneeded water on it.
I personally think that this gives me the opportunity to mention that we ought to look at our sod replacement plans. That if people are having trouble with sod at their place, that we have a program to try and fix it rather than replace it. Because, you know, I've worked on I had a problem on my side, and it's almost fixed now. There's an area where I changed the irrigation, and I lost the sod right there because they dug up the ground. But we've had a pretty good success this year. The stuff grows back together.
Yeah, it does.
And but it's a longer range solution that's like, you know, it's like 6 or 8 months. But if you keep watering it regularly and feeding it regularly, which is what we got the landscaping people for, then it should recover and it would be fine by the time Christmas gets here.
And I entirely agree with that. The plan to repair it, give it the right nutrients and a nice water base, to hold the water without overwatering it. It'll grow back. And I'll tell you, every year I kill off some of my sod because I've got stuff in my yard, holidays, it stays there and kills it. Every year after I take it out, I rake the dead out, I put lawn soil in and I water it and it comes back. And in a matter of months, it's just going back over it. So I know that it was covered, so personal experience, and my whole yard is in trees. I have nothing but trees, so.
So what I'm proposing is that we talk to the landscaping people and see if we can modify procedures to where we don't automatically rip up the grass and resod, but rather that we install a program that which will take care of it because so that we can promote the recovery of wherever we have problems, and I think in the end it'll, because we end up having to do it anyway. When you put fresh grass in, you got to do stuff to make it grow anyway. So if we can make it recover on its own, we may save some money out of this budget.
Yeah, I mean, we don't lose time. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. My only question is, when are we talking about doing the repair of this?
Soon as Gail gives us the zone breakout pricing and, he's gonna come back with a soil spreading pricing, you know, I'll tell you those numbers on next time.
I'm just apprehensive to fix anything sod related. And say would appear to us, still we got controls and stuff. I feel like it's just throwing back.
So would you assume if we buy the time range at this point, the people that have problems that we are facilitating to fix, just change those timers first? Is that what you're saying?
That would probably be, yeah,
Prudent?
especially if we're gonna do a sod repair program on them. At the timer in, let's do a sod repair
Are
program.
we calling that program John's, 3-hour side program?
Yeah.
We look forward to your plan of action and milestones, the next meeting.
But no, yeah, that would be perfect, an ideal.
Okay. So what we did with Tom and was the correct tack. We gave him the information, try to give us a plan of attack like that, and if that becomes the working model, we'll use it. Yes, no?
Okay, so
We are on your side, John. You're just a step ahead of me there.
That's good.
All right, great.
Committee reports. Do we have any committees to report?
We have a little committee.
Do we have a?
My wife is here.
Fine.
Oh, sure. See, unlike the contractors, you do this by volunteer.
Well,
Please, come on.
since we're so new, I thought it might be helpful to remind folks why we were organized, which was basically to develop an annual calendar of events to benefit the residents and to increase the number and variety of activities. We need more members, so if you have anyone who is interested in this kind of activity, I'd be happy to talk to them. At this point, it is Daisy, Siri, and me. We had some other folks who, for a variety of reasons, had to bow out. In addition to what I just said about the events, we also think it's part of our responsibility to support informing the residents about what's going on. For example, the new gym is quite an asset, and folks over at Encore, for example, probably don't know anything about that, so I put that on both websites, and we want to do more things like that for them to understand what services are there that they might want to be using. And in that regard, in terms of informing, Crystal Rosenthal has been kind enough to step forward to establish a monthly newsletter that you'll be seeing in the next few weeks or so. She's been kind of busy. And of course, you saw the new website that Tom was behind that is aggregating a variety of kinds of information in one place, season 5. In terms of things that were already said, we had a fall event in October that we're planning. We have a holiday event around December the 9th through 10th that we're also planning. And we're looking at some other things such as a movie night series. music on the lake. We have a resident who's going to bring his band and small, large, whatever you want, and play for free, for tips, he says. He's very enthusiastic. And we're also, gonna be involved in looking at ways to increase community and corporate support in the FHRW. Right, Sean?
Yeah, one of the things we did talk about, which I'll touch on, is that, you know, with this particular event we're working on, we talked about sponsorship, but it would be a really cool idea. Planning in the future for larger events to do a sponsorship package with a year sponsorship to our events, and when we print out everything, have the logos and t-shirts that are on our staff, and kind of give them some visibility for helping out the neighborhood. So if we can make some sponsorship packets and get those out, that would be awesome. And then utilize those particular services for the big events. And that's something we'll be working on in the future. We went over a few ideas like that came up pretty quickly at the last meeting, and talked a bit about some ideas for this fall event, which we're going to bring back concrete ideas for at the next meeting. So I think it was productive for that part of it. I mean, the Daisy and Norman have been doing a dynamic job, and I'm really pleased on board at this point.
Daisy has been responsible for reaching out on the Fish app, so that in future events, we'll have some student support, including for the Saturday. And of course, that's the big Miguel, and Mark will be able to talk about Saturday.
Yes.
Before,
I don't know, something happened. Yeah.
before you start,
Go ahead.
just a question, the newsletter, is that gonna be posted on the website? Okay. Thank you. Okay,
Okay, sure. So first and foremost, I'd like to give credit to the architect of the Fish Hawk West Community Fest, and that's Crystal. She's the impetus and the driving force behind this whole thing. You know, back in January, when I did the last fireworks show, I said, Crystal, I don't really want to do a fireworks show again. And she said, I know, I think we should. It's good for the community. And then from there on out, it just grew legs. She came up with the plan for this festival, and we're executing, and it's going to be an amazing event. And hopefully we do it every year. So thanks to her. So as of right now, let's see.
Hi. I'm still working on the newsletter, got a little caught up with his retirement and the festival, so, but I do have a pretty good rough draft, and hopefully we'll push forward and get it out maybe mid-July. I hope to be done with it.
Cool.
great, thank you, Crystal.
I'll keep this short because we're already over an hour for this meeting, hour and 20 minutes. Basically, so we're collecting funds, right? Community donations or community sponsorships, as well as corporate sponsorships. And we're going to total that up, and that'll be the money that funds the event. We got a bunch of different attractions, bouncy houses, the foam party, food trucks. We did lock on today. Is that correct? We locked on today 2 porta potties for the event at a price of $348, I think it was. We shopped around and got a really good deal. So those will be out there. Crystal, you got anything to add?
I'm working, if we have enough funds, I'd like to get a face paint or glitter tattoo artist.
Yes.
Wonderful. I'll be the first one.
Tommy just.
We'll pay that for you.
Hey, I'm gonna hold you to that, man. Big butterfly on the cheek.
So that's the long and short. Sean has started working on some pretty good things for it too. You know, the backside, the not fun stuff that nobody likes to look at.
Oh, wait,
And,
sorry. Oh, I forgot. Fire department said they'll be showing up at about 6 p.m.
How could I forget? The fire trucks and firefighters from Station 44 are going to be showing up around 6 p.m. And talk to them, and maybe they're going to pull out the hoses, and since it's be so hot, and start squirting some kids and doing that kind of thing. So I will say what we're learning from this event is you don't know what you don't know until it's pointed out that you didn't know it. And after this event is over, I'd like for us all to sit down and go through kind of an after action report. And make a
Obviously, gonna
checklist.
say lessons learned.
Absolutely. You know, there's permits which are required, there's insurance which is required, and even the vendors that we use, the vendors that we pick for this event, we can use for the next one, and it becomes a plug and play event, like the food truck bouncy house events. So, but it should be a great event, everyone should come out, we're gonna have some sheriffs there, I think, as well.
Yep, two at this point.
Yeah,
And I've got 4 volunteers currently lined up.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great.
That's right, the Proffer Fish, the Crystal's gonna honcho the volunteers, and they're gonna meet up with her prior to the event, she'll assign duties where it's needed.
Could I ask that all documentation that you have on vendors, certificates of insurance, who you've hired and such, please give a copy to Patty so that she has.
I will do one better than that, and we had talked about this via email, so on the shared drive, we're gonna make a folder for festivals, and we'll just put everything in there, and you number it by year, 2023 Spring Fest, and then we put all the vendor receipts, all the insurance policies, everything we did, and a lessons learned goes in there. So that way, when you go to plan 2024, you go back and you look at the lesson learned sheet from 2023, you say, okay, let's not make these same mistakes again,
So
I would appreciate.
and then everyone can access it.
I have another suggestion with that, though. I still would like to put them in as non-bidding vendors in the system and put the COIs in there with the expiration date, because it'll tell us if we need to get another one automatically. It also gives us a way of, because I'm gonna have to put the invoices in anyway, so I'm gonna have to put them in. Gives us a way to track that information in the future automatically, as opposed to looking at folder. So that would be great, helpful to me. So that's something that Jennifer does. That's why I'm talking to her.
Any
Right.
questions?
No, but I would like I said, I need all the information that you and Crystal have gathered and such, that Patty doesn't have, and that we can have, for next year, or, and such, and I love the fact that you've already thought about doing, lessons learned after action report, however you want to say.
Yeah.
Because it has been a learning process for all of us.
Yeah, I think it's turning into something we didn't originally envision, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll give you some numbers since they weren't discussed. As of the moment, we got a few donations in today from the members in the neighborhood. So we're at 4,160 payout from the Everbright site. And of course, he's got checks that we put in. We collected some checks too, a handful of them.
Yes, and I've got some to put
Puts
in.
this number over there. So we're really close to the original goal. I think if not exceeding it shortly, where I'm mistaken. So that's really awesome. There've been 2,347 views on this particular Everbright site, and there's a report that shows you how much percentages from out of our area and so forth, but quite a few from all over the place. So I would expect that we're gonna probably have a pretty darn good time. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been a last minute struggle, but it sounds like all the ducks are getting in a row for this event.
One angle thing, I talked to Sean and we thought that maybe some identification for those people that are sort of staffing the thing would be a good idea. So I took the liberty of ordering those tacky reflective vests, and there will be 10 of them later. And I'm not sure if that one big enough for Mark. but-
Between my glitter butterfly.
And a tacky vest.
Working with one on each arm.
So how much was that? What are you asking for in terms
It
of
was under
reimbursement?
$50
Yeah, they were inexpensive, and I
and a reason.
gave her a verbal okay that we had the money to pay for it.
I
But
at
just
one
what-
point,
Oh, sorry, Jonathan.
you're putting your hand on it right there.
That was, we're doing this, right? And this is for 2 shares?
I don't even think it needs any thought, really. Yeah,
No, I think we have to.
Yeah.
I'm calculating $410 roughly.
yes.
I had that up right.
My thing was 400 not to exceed 500 when we talked on the phone. That was pretty close. Yeah.
And they'll bring a car with flashy stuff on it.
Out front and take care of the traffic flow and have somebody present just in case something goes down, like kids with bags of marijuana.
And I'm committing that we're gonna pay this, so that's why I need
Yeah, we'll
to
just
get a group.
make a motion now.
I was gonna say, is the association paying for this?
Right now, the association is paying. All funds are going into the association. When we're done, we'll then get
Bless
checked
you.
over the month. After everything.
Bless you
So
again.
we have. Eventbrite, is that what I saw, or 4,000, I'm sorry,
4,160,
4,000 Eventbrite, another 2,000 something in check.
and yeah, something like that, like $2,200, I would guess, in checks and what Marcus told me.
So you got like 6,000 plus the 1,000 that the HOA is paying for 2,000. So yeah,
Already paid, yeah.
already paid, I'm just saying, roughly $7,000, so. Once all that money comes in, we have to deduct all these payables that we've actually paid.
So I was asked by someone in Encore this week, how much is the HOA paying for this?
1,000. Which is our cap for any event.
Just
Well,
wanted to-
actually, you want to give them the correct answer. The HOA is paying nothing, because that $1,000 comes from Lake House Rentals. So not a penny out of their pocket is coming for this event,
Mhm.
unless they rent the lake house.
Yeah, nothing.
That's true. I always try to preface that on
Then
Facebook.
it's coming out dues.
We'll let them know that that's come out of use.
So it wasn't
So-
an aggressive comment, it was
Mhm.
just a comment of interest because it's on our, we're
Yeah.
sponsoring it,
On our
Yeah.
page, it's aggressive.
yeah.
It's very aggressive. It's,
So
the
it's,
HOA doesn't have
it's-
frivolous funds to spend on this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, we shouldn't spend frivolously, which is why this comes from Lake House Rentals.
Yeah, and, you know, Norma's been sitting, promoting it. In fact, she said, one of the comments that a number of people had was, why do I have to pay for a ticket? And it's not because it wasn't clear that it was a donation, whether you want the county to do the ticket to let us know. The donation, which is voluntary, would be appreciated. It's not if you don't have a ticket,
Yeah, I think, you know, that's kind of how it's started. I think it's going to, we will reassess for the next summer fest we do, like any fair you go to. If the Florida Fairgrounds or whatever, it costs you a certain amount of money, whether it's in tickets for rides or whatever.
Right,
I was
I guess-
just talking about the current event.
Yeah,
I guess I'm with John in this camp a little bit, is that the comment that I've got from a couple of people that I asked about it, they similar like, you know, I pay my dues, I'm not, if it's a joy event, why should I pay more? We can address that differently in the budget, obviously, making sure we have a little extra from the social budget for this event, and then not ask for donations unless from the members, but definitely for sponsorships and people who want to give money anyway, but if they always. So the, offset it, because I think we don't really even have $2,000 for the other donations, other than those three really good donations, right? So in that event, could we re-massage the budget next year to have extra funds for this? Absolutely. We just didn't plan on it this year's big one. So,
Yeah, and it's perfect because we'll have a breakdown and know exactly what it costs. That's a good point. We could easily assess it next year.
I'd love to do that. I'd love no more than to have these events that are inclusive to the community as part of what we do and not have fees for them.
We only charge the fees and donations. We don't have.
I know, so that's what I'm saying. It'd be great to figure out a way to do that within the lake house rentals. We did raise the lake fee, so that number's going up. Should be some ways to do this.
Ultimately, events like this are going to increase the value of homes.
Absolutely.
They're gonna want to live here because they don't have to go somewhere else.
It's value added, it's equity.
One of the numbers. Anyway, make a motion to approve hiring the sheriffs for the event.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will. Okay, well, let's move on. What do we have here? We have Lynn's electric hourly rate.
Well-
New crew,
These are the proposals for the electrician to do the lights around the pool.
the pool or the
Oh,
lake house?
The lake house, right.
So before we did, look at this, Will, were you not, working with JR on this project before, he left? On the lights around the lake house?
I was, but he didn't do anything. And then the new guy, Jeremy, right? I went down and showed him the lights that we were gonna do, the retrofits. Are we talking about like landscaping, more lighting around the pool?
Now,
Because we
what,
never, I went with the security committee and the one, I'm trying to think of his name, never got with me on his ideas of what he wanted to put out there. And then the one security guy ended up quitting, John, and it never got nothing ever went from after that. So we're kind of they were at a standstill with what they were going to do. Sorry. I don't know if I answered.
I don't think so, but Will, I have a question for you that is related to her question.
What's that?
Started this, I thought we were just gonna try to replace the broken lights and get it going, and I know that JR didn't do it, but when Jeremy came on board, we went over it with him, and there was some type of
Yeah.
discussion on how they should be installed, that he was uncomfortable with hot swapping the lights for some reason, that's what is that the word, is that spectrum? So that's why we've got an electrician, because Jeremy won't do this work.
Okay.
Think that he understood it from you.
Okay. I mean, we could save the money. It doesn't take long to do that, to retrofit them. I mean, that's something I could actually do. It'd take me maybe 2 hours to do the lights that are in there, to change them to the LEDs. If you want to save the money, I could do it that way. It's no big deal to me. That's up to you guys. It's simple. I took him over and I took the lights apart and showed it to him. It's turning off the circuits and you're just making the sockets hot for the LEDs to go in. And I thought at first he was going to do that. And then I think it turned into, I don't think, like you said, he didn't feel comfortable on doing that.
So you
Are you
said,
talking the inside lights, Will, or the outside lights from Fudikin?
No, the outside lights, the ones when you go to the entry, they're like a half moon. That's what we bought the LED retros for, to change those. That's all we bought those lights for, because that's what JR wanted only. The rest of the lighting, he wasn't doing anything with. There's some half moons when you walk up in the front on each side, and then if you go around the back where the pump house is on the left hand side, there's a couple more. They're just like a half moon. They have 2 lamps in them, and you pull the ballast and you wire the sockets hot, then they plug in and they work.
Okay,
well, the issue is that the landscaping lights around the lake house the majority of them have been broken off. We have very little lighting around the lake house. Even out by the sign, there's one by the lake house sign. So have you had an opportunity recently to walk the property to see what is needed to make the lake house light up properly and make it look good?
Yes,
Because we're
the
looking
last-
at the Honeydew Crew is giving us a quote for $3,700. Another is $75 an hour with a not to succeed amount. I mean,
Can I ask a question? Real quick? His throat's close. Sorry.
I don't know what I'm voting on here.
It's horrible. Hopefully not. Well, you and I could do this. This is stupid electrical.
Yes.
There's nothing. So my real question goes to Patty. What is wrong with Jeremy? Is he a maintenance guy or a garbage cleaner? Because we had one of them.
He doesn't feel comfortable with electrical work.
Okay, well, he was originally hired to put in a fan in the room, which required electrical. I've heard recently.
Because it was
that
already
he's
there.
backing out from that as well.
Yep, no, because the electric's already there, so it's just opening up, dropping it down and then attaching.
But I did hear he doesn't want to do it. Right? What's wrong with Jeremy? I think we have a problem with Jeremy.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
maybe
that,
because I had the on-call maintenance crew talk to him, and they said he isn't skilled to do the services that we require.
so the issue is also, he's not terribly inexpensive, we're still paying him $52,000, that's an $18,000 savings from what we were spending, but still, it's still.
It's
So.
a 6-month contract, so he did that on purpose, because we talked about it, if it wasn't gonna work here for him.
Say again?
He's on a 6-month contract,
Okay.
so if it didn't work for him and it didn't work for us, there's no problem separate.
So Will, are you willing to put sweat equity into this with? Tom?
Yes, we can fix the lights ourselves. I can do that. It's not a big deal. I can repair the lights that are broken. They make a PVC post that goes in the ground where the broken boxes are. Put that on there. We have 10 Fudikin lights to make the lake house look good. I walked the security team a while back, but they keep talking about motion lights. Motion lights don't do anything. People know they don't work right. And then I can retrofit the pool house. That's not that big of a deal. It's taking the fixture down, popping the ballast, wiring the socket out. We do that all day long at work. It's, it's not that hard, but I do that. That's what my job is. So,
Yeah, and
So,
I-
Bill, do me a favor when you're feeling better, can you just get me a parts list?
yes, sorry. I've done something here on my phone. I don't know what I've just done.
And we'll talk about it at a board meeting, get it approved, and then you and I will get it done.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can do that.
I want to make sure it's what you,
Oh,
that is the one.
yeah,
Will, do you have
I've given my wife the gift of the cold, so now she's getting sick. So it's not fun.
Will, do you have the board packet in front of you?
Hold on, I gotta look. I gotta pull it up. I'm trying to do this on my phone. My computer died on me, so
Well, we have an Amazon, here, RAB lighting, MP19B. It's a mighty post, 3-inch by 19-inch.
should be strong enough.
is it a PVC post with a it's got a little top on it that you can screw the rod into? That's what it is?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, that would work because we can slide it in the ground, it won't rot. And there's a little topper on it that pops off. You screw the Fudikin light into it because it's threaded and all the makeup is inside there. That's the best. We did that on the entryway of Amley Arena. I installed about 30 of those lights out there to light up the trees and the statues. So those work great.
Yeah, these are the ones with I know there's two different types that I've used in the past. So these are ones with the large crisscross to keep it from
Mhm.
shifting.
Yes, exactly. And they're angle shot on the bottom so it stays in the ground at a 45 degree.
so getting
Yes,
back,
that's it.
so
That's
getting
it.
Tommy's request, can you get him a supply list, a materials list?
Yes.
Say no later than next Friday. And
I'm
then,
off the entire next week. I'm off all week. I don't
Oh.
even have to go back to work, so
So-
I can come on and do that.
so then you could get the list, the materials list and do the work by next week then.
Yeah, we'll have it done too.
The guy,
As long as no one's standing around me, I'm okay with it. I don't want to give this to anybody. It's not fun.
what driver you are.
All right, yeah, Will, that'd be great. Just shoot me an email with Amazon links and quantities. That's all I need.
Okay. All right.
He said
I'll
these-
swing through this weekend. And I'm taking a Z pack, so hopefully it'll knock this baby out.
Thanks, Will. 'Cause there's other
Thank you.
stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Dragging on for months. We need to
years.
get it taken care of. So I
Okay.
really, if you could get that taken care
Okay, we'll do.
Is there anything else that we had
of.
electrician?
Yes, this installed fans, it says 2 fans in pool table area.
the one above there. We just have to buy it and put it in. The box is
I
there,
can
it's just
install
dropping it in.
things.
Yeah, I mean, how much did we want for the install?
This,
Well, Hawkins is too much.
this is
I would do it.
79.
Yeah, that's for everything. It's ridiculous.
I'd rather get nicer fans.
This
Get
is
the
ridiculous. I was gonna say, no, okay.
Buy some fans, let me know when you get there.
Yeah, I'll go get them in.
I was gonna
Some fun.
say, even my install.
Yeah, well, that was a fiasco when I had them.
Yeah.
But, great.
Thank you, Will. Feel
Thanks, Will.
better.
Thank you. Thanks.
Or Jennifer, both. Please be on the hunt to see if we could find another Jeremy.
No. A better gym.
A better Jeremy, better Jeremy. We don't really want an employee. We love a subcontractor. And with him, we would.
Just like a bucket and then
Shoot around and see what I can find.
I just,
I'm just list.
yeah. I just,
Yeah.
The good news is if we're only paying these people weekly, we could go through them like water. There's no repercussions. We find one that's different.
So what, I didn't understand the 6 months deal we have. Is there a retainer with that, the good workers, it just
No.
is available for 6 months?
We signed a contract with them for 6 months for a negotiated rate.
$500 per visit.
Twice a week, 3 hours.
And if we don't have anything from the duty,
He doesn't come.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just his list of when we first talked.
Well-
It was available to do.
Mhm.
Well, we also found out today that he's not getting the. Portfolio.
Yeah,
Was
any
not-
of the reoccurring work orders that we had in there, because it doesn't send an email, he has to log in to AppFolio. He's not seeing that repetitiveness stuff.
And that's the reason he's not logging in.
I don't know that he realized that he had to log in to
It's
see
just a
those
convenience.
because all the other work orders emailed to him.
So anything that he needed to do, he would obviously make sure that it was in Appfolio, he would get it before he came. And any tools or anything he needed, he brought with him.
Yeah, I mean, that explains the occurred stuff, but I can't hotwire an LED bulbs. My wife.
So the last thing we have to do is look at the sunrise, bid.
Yeah, so we have sunrise here, guys.
No, Tom, I told Tom not to come today, there's no reason. for them to come.
Are we looking at these today?
The only
And we
thing,
discussed them at length on Wednesday, so I don't see why.
Yeah.
we couldn't look at them. And I think there's a couple that seem reasonable to me.
The landscaping around the pool area that we're looking at.
It says
8 shrubs.
8 shrubs, this one, it's shrubs only, no labor. 496. This is a picture, they're replacing all of this.
Why did they
Hair
not?
bills item.
At the time, we think it was a severed, drip line, but it's been good.
Where's that?
And they have money.
862-1.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Sorry, I.
And then we're here for the pool.
So why is this one, why did this one die? Do you know?
There was a valve issue with that grass that has been repaired, or I've been told it's been repaired, and the grass just basically didn't get watered for a long time before it was corrected.
There's always here, it's growing back, we don't need that. We could pull that.
This one?
Yeah, I thought I walked past it the other day and actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
great.
Great.
Right, I wasn't sure. if it-
Right, that's perfect.
We like that.
John-ish.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Aye.
See, John, 3 hours, land.
We like it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, how about pool plant bed renovation?
Yeah, all the barren places that were around it.
that's $8,800, no.
Mhm.
That's a lot of money.
Just cancel it July 1st, right?
Yeah, we should.
How much is this one?
$8,800.
I would table
What
it for
we're
now.
looking
I
at.
would say no, but
It's the pool.
It's
All
all,
the
it's
plans-
all
Oh,
the
it's
planting,
all of that. Yes.
Can we just table this one?
Can we table
No,
this?
it needs to be done.
but not now.
if we get resolution on.
Can we,
so you
can we
No.
just do the front of the pool house?
Can we not do it, nothing, no. I wanna do the lake house before we do the pool.
I wanna not spend money until we have it.
And I agree with you there.
I agree with Sean, I'm willing to wait to do both.
I'm wondering if we could reposition some of the plants where there are a lot of the space where they are, just, kind of grow in.
That's a problem.
What's the problem with barren?
Well, we had talked about, we talked about cleaning it up and putting something in there last month, remember that? We talked about, I was saying to him, do we have to put plants in here? And he says, well, we can do something that
Are we
was
gonna
not,
sign that?
putting these expensive plants in there, but it would be sort of a ground cover to put in there.
Right.
It was very inexpensive, and he was saying they would do it. Probably said they would do it for free.
But the plants are in there currently.
The plants are, these are,
I already have some,
Signs.
I had him sign it.
Is anyone opposed to having these, what is it, 8 areas? 7. Broken up and individually
yes,
expensed?
yes,
Yeah, I think it's.
I think it should wait.
You're opposed to it?
I think that.
No, I wanna know how much each area costs. It's like just one giant cost, $8,800 for everything.
Oh, you want them to break it up?
Yeah. Like how much for area?
$1,000 roughly.
Yeah, how much for area 7? How much for area 1?
He's got the plants.
Why not have each service areas?
No, he
So
didn't
option
do it.
putting their own plants in there and having competition. So
That's always gonna put it down from 75.
He didn't, yeah, he just said what it is, but he didn't break it. He just,
Well, the plants-
we can ask him.
the guy is volunteering for everything.
Yeah, the plants might-
And buy mixed land.
No, there was
Wednesday, I'd be happy to ask him.
Yeah.
a lot of areas like this.
But we're gonna do the lake hunt first.
Nobody comes to the lake. Everyone goes to the lake. When I come here at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Outside of this table.
Yeah.
Outside of this.
All right.
You got the gym and the pool.
Again,
The lake
the
house.
easy solution.
Can I make a suggestion for a traffic monitor of each place to see what gets the most traffic?
I'll check all the extras.
All right.
Okay, I don't think we have anything else on this list. We did have, we got a quote from, it is Jan Pro, right?
Yeah.
You had a quote from a bunch.
A bunch of them. I don't know.
Are these for pool cleaning?
These are for,
For daily pool cleaning?
okay, our pool is horrendous cleanup wise, guys, it's the problem. The short is the neighborhood is piggish at the pool, it really is. I go in there and clean and, you know, sometimes it's physical feces, sometimes it's blood, sometimes it's something else, but it's a disaster there and we have no one cleans. Residents are right, it's a problem. So I had an idea on a solution. We get our current cleaning people to start cleaning on a 5 or 6 day basis and get a spill for it. We could do a few different things with that. We could find out where the money's coming from and get it paid. We could take it out of contingency and do a special assessment for it and refund contingency. At the end of the day, I think it's a clean bill we need to take. In addition to, it'll solve part of the problem because if they're here 6 days a week, that pool closure time, and they're closing the pool, they're resetting all the furniture, they're cleaning the bathrooms, they're coming here, they're doing the same, and then.
Okay, you
I
sold
didn't
it.
talk
What's the
about that
cost?
Which part?
You sold.
I didn't talk about coming at closing time, like you said, just said. I
Okay,
didn't.
nuts.
Well, you got to work it with, they'll get the right crews in there.
Right, they were, most of them were saying that if they had it to where it was at night, at some point in time at night,
That's
then they would.
The pool, yeah,
it's-
I wish it was at pool closing time, but,
I know.
you know,
So still can lock up on that.
So I mean, you sold the necessity. What's the cost?
Yeah, what's the cost?
it's a.
There's a multitude.
It's a fortune. Thank you. Okay.
What's what's the fortune?
So Jan Pro,
Okay,
oh, here, that's not it.
Yes, I printed for
Are
everybody.
they all the same?
Oh. Oh.
oh, take one, that's
I printed.
Big one.
Had him to hand it out when it was his time. And they're each quote, I printed enough of each quote for you to hand out.
No.
So we couldn't reach.
The 3 of them.
Did you get one? You, oh, you got your own this time.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there should be four
so-
of each company.
4 different quotes, is what you're saying?
4 different quotes, that's what I got.
Okay, the one that says sent from my iPhone, that's a no.
You know, I tend to agree.
Even I do too. Jamie King.
And Janie King, their quote also includes not doing Saturday. And getting rid of Jan Pro. Does that make sense what I'm
They have a
saying?
winner.
So they want the whole thing.
Correct,
I don't blame it.
correct.
But they have a winner here.
Where's your one?
So our current monthly fee right now is $544 a month. That's what we pay for propane.
For open.
All the cleaning, they get.
And
On
they
Saturdays.
here.
Once a week, right?
But here as well.
Mhm.
So
And
saying, so Janny King will do one full cleaning per week and 5 restrooms. Only cleaning per week. They want 1,800 a month.
So I think under the amended contract, it's
And so we're paying what right now?
544.
Yep. Good plan.
I did keep one.
Which one?
What didn't you keep?
I don't have a copy of it.
Addendum, why is this on the side, so it's on the second page, I see. That's what.
I was gonna say, why in the world did we increase it 3 times?
So the Janet King looks like it's just bathrooms every day and one full clean for the week, right?
Well, I don't know if there are quite a few services listed here, so daily
Click on the last
Last
three
page.
percent description.
trash cans, desks, carpets, small carpet stains, hard floors, glass partitions, all included in this. That's a daily cleaning, and the weeklies are entire things, so. Kitchens, break rooms, fitness rooms. Trash containers, just going all the different rooms that we have in there. Guys are keeping me up at night.
There is, will be a one-time charge for complete the items in mid with the approval. So what's the initial cleaning, Jennifer?
Which one? On which?
On
person?
Janet King,
Always say-
the one-time initial clean for 325?
They always, any new company always charges initial cleaning fees. So that's how Rob Lee does it. They do it.
Yeah.
Your first
it-
deep clean.
Gonna take us twice as long and.
Yeah.
'Cause we haven't cleaned, you haven't cleaned this place in 7
Right.
years.
Yeah, that, get rid of that,
They won't do it.
get rid of that.
They won't do it. Ridiculous.
then what's your question?
Out of all of them, I don't like, out of all of the people personally, I like Homegenics the best.
And
But she's
why
the
is that?
highest price. Because she was able to understand what we were talking about. She was talking about how she would have the tops of the things clean. She would be outside cleaning along the front as well. She talked more in depth about things. She could communicate with you. So,
So my thing is that I'm looking at the, correct me if I'm wrong, I must be reading this wrong, I was looking at Janny King, they've got, 2, 4, 5 restrooms cleans per week. We're talking about your what, how many restroom cleans per week on this one?
on,
Janet King,
On either of them, because I've got to compare apples to apples, am I getting more cleaning time out of one or the other for the price, or am I, like the Homegenics that you like,
correct?
it's numbers what, 1,013, 19, right?
Mhm.
And we're looking at.
This
the-
would not cancel out Jan Pro that we currently
It's
have.
in addition to
It
Jam
would
Pro.
be an addition
Yeah,
to.
but that's good to know.
So that's the one you were saying, she was describing what she would do to the
Yes, but this,
lake house.
but this is only just for the cleaning of the bathrooms. If we hired her, at one time, Patty had a quote for her to come do the full cleanings.
So if I understand this correctly, you like homogenic
I did like them.
and. We could get a new quote from them to replace Janny.
Jenny Pro,
Jan Pro.
Jam
Yeah.
Pro.
And just.
Well, we got a year commitment with Jan Pro, don't we?
Do we have the
Do
full?
we have a term contract? I thought it was a 1.1. I don't understand.
I think it's a full year.
I will have to check it.
So,
Otherwise, we keep
So what I-
Jan Pro for what they're doing.
well, so can't consider this at all.
Jan Pro? Yeah, that's Jan.
If that's the case, if we have a year commit on the Jan Pro,
Well, Jan, unless we get a reapproval, yeah.
we can't commit to this one because it's gonna
Okay.
kill us.
That's fine.
This is the only way to go then. If we decide to do that.
If we have the full contract, yes.
Do we have Jan Pro's contract signed?
It's a contract in the system. Is it clear up? Huh? I didn't see it. And we're supposed to have that stuff on the thing.
Okay,
I know,
didn't get that one.
that's why I need it, so I can see it.
Jan Pro is the most expensive one, right? At 6 nights a week for $2,600.
Yeah, that's what
No,
we're.
actually, they do 3, 5, and 6.
Oh, see.
Their proposal has 3 different.
Right, because the only one, so this one is 6 nights a week at 1,000. And this one's 26.
The Jan Pro includes. Yeah, different spaces. Jan Pro's already doing.
Just with the COI.
Right.
That's it.
This is everything that Jan Pro doesn't do.
Yes. But that's gonna be Jan Pro, if not. The slack and doing everything.
So what they're saying is they charge $544 now. And they're gonna add 14, 15, the extra work if we do 3 days. 6 days is 26.19.
Right, exactly.
So that's the cleanest to understand.
Mhm.
Are we unhappy with Jan Pro?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
And why is that?
I don't think they're doing a very good job cleaning. I come in sometimes and the refrigerator's not cleaned out. Like not that things are left in there, but wipe it out, clean it out. They're supposed to. I don't think they're doing high cleanings like they're supposed to.
Dusting, and that's for a fact, and. 'cause I can't-
Last week they should have been perfectly fine to go into the gym and I saw the windowsills when Patty and I went in there the other day and there's still stuff on the windowsills, so.
So we need to
Knowing
get-
that they're not coming in there and cleaning,
So we need to get them back out here because we had a similar issue. When we first started. Partially it was communications issues, part was she was being interfered with their work from some of the other employees around. But they brought a team out here to look at what was wrong, walked to every day that we were having trouble with. Got a brand new group of people in there and now they haven't trouble
Okay.
since. We need to just get them in here. Especially if we have, I think you've got the same contract we have, it's a 1-year contract that cannot be voided. But what they do say is if you have a problem, come here and talk to us about it and we'll fix it.
Okay.
So our options are, today's revenue contract now, if it is 1 year, our options are go Jan Pro. For the whole caboodle, or hire on homogenics.
And keep Jan Pro for
And keep
the
Jan Pro.
house, if we have a contract, right? It's gotta be ready to get out of the contract even, so they're down to a job, it's gotta be
Yeah, there's gotta be a, non-performance clause.
someplace, right?
I'm not sure
Have you-
about that.
Have you? Well, you just don't care. Have you talked to them?
I have not talked to them. I mean, we communicate through messages that we leave for each other because they come Saturday nights and stuff like that, so I need to just reach out and talk to them.
Have you, even messages like, have you talked to whomever your contact is about poor performance at all?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I think you gotta do that.
Okay.
So if I
And I'm
understand
glad to meet with you.
Yeah.
the Jana King one, the pricing on this, it says 1 full clean per week and 5 restrooms only, is that what I'm looking at? So that means they would only do 1 full clean and then
The other 5 days.
the other.
The other 5
2,
days,
4,
2, 4, and 5
whatever.
is just be cleaning the gym bathroom and the pool bathroom,
So
which is
it will
what,
not be your cleanup that you're requesting
No.
at the pool.
no.
Well, no, I think it would, really only requesting that the pool deck,
That's not a restroom.
well, that you can negotiate. That's a negotiated. affair.
That's not a restroom.
I understand.
So the Jan Pro contract is for a year. We can terminate it. However, you have to give them written notice of non-performance. So it's like you have to counsel them first and say, hey, you're not living up to your end of the bargain. And then they have to fix it.
But what I'm saying though is if you look at the
I can't read.
homogenic
After
one,
some-
it
After the-
specifies in writing.
Notice
I'm
I'm
making an assumption.
They have the rest. We'll say that, how many days subtracted or whatever.
5 business days to cure the specific issue, or 30 days to cure the claim of general non-performance. So,
Tommy.
say, hey, you're just not living up to our standards, you have a month to fix it, if it's still not up to standards next
Me.
month, we can cancel.
I would go, if I was looking at a contract,
Okay, so that's
this
what
one,
You got me confused on two different. Yeah. I'm not talking which one. it is. I'm talking, you're saying that one is missing,
guess
one
I'm
is taken on deviation. I'm saying, let's get it.
And
in.
then when we go to document-
I'm saying we're not comparing apples and apples.
we're not.
You're not. You don't know that.
You guys are in violent agreement.
That's the final agreement for me. Okay, here's my only concern. We hire homogenics. They're gonna come out 6 days
For 2.5 hours a day.
and Jamie Trost, they're gonna come on Saturday. So they're not coming on Saturday.
This lady homogenics is not, I didn't ask her for that. We would just asked about the extra add-ons.
So she's coming every day here, but Saturday the January goes.
Correct.
Yeah, here would be the only thing that, like, when you talk to her again, I'd say, we don't need her on Saturday. Okay, but we need them the other 6 days. And we need them to. What's the part we're missing? We're gonna have to pull through that area.
And
Cause
so
basically,
if she-
what I asked her for was that she cleans the bathrooms here, the bathrooms over there, and she straightens the pool deck. That's what I asked her, and I asked her for the 2 days, the 5 days, and the 6 days. That's what I asked her for.
Oh, that was it, timing. If we could talk to both our current and homogenics and see if we could get their timing to be closure times. For the pool amenities. And it's a done deal. We've solved all our problems. Well, except for all the funds.
Except for funding.
We're fine.
So what I wanna know is this proposal from, Homogenics for cleaning here and then just sweeping off the deck?
The quote that I have from Homogenics is just for them to clean the bathrooms
In this building?
in this building, the pool bathrooms, and straighten the the chairs and the umbrellas on the pool deck. No sweeping of the pool deck, no, nothing else. That was just what I asked them for.
So I think we've got a gap here because, I can't understand why, and I'm not with the Jan, I'm just more familiar with what our experience are. But, Jan Pro for 6 days a week is $2,600. And they're $1,300. I don't understand how there can be such a disparity for cleaning services.
Because Jan Pro is already in contract. I do that all the time too.
All right, we'll go with
So
the cheapest one.
They're not trying to give us their best money.
We'll just go with the cheapest one. That's what we're trying to do.
Right.
They're really not gonna get the blood out there. They're not gonna get all the other stuff out there. They're
Yeah,
not
she's
gonna
licensed.
touch the deck. They're just
Yeah,
gonna
yes.
dust off.
Patty's
And-
gonna turn first.
Well,
That's all she.
Budget, that she can,
they need
obviously
to.
provide
they need
a
to clean the bathroom.
certificate of
That's what I
insurance.
mean.
Well, we got that.
That's the main problem.
I know. Well,
So what's the terms?
this is under.
We hope to be fully checked out.
Oh.
Can we at least get the
I did not-
trash container?
Sorry.
Months ago.
That's another question. I don't know if they can.
So it's 30
They,
days.
they only have
We can
one
terminate
part.
after 30
The
days
other
when we give
two
them,
times they
when we
come,
tell them they're
they
not.
don't do trash.
But we have to give them 5 days to
After
change.
those non-compliance for a specific reason, they have 5 days to collect it. For general non-performance, they have 30 days to collect it.
Sort.
Okay, no, I did not see.
Get it from over there to over here.
They want to keep it here.
I sent it to your email too. I sent it to everyone.
There's a logistics problem. So, John makes a
We
good
didn't
point,
do more research with this.
and I think we do.
Okay,
The
that's
problem,
fine.
the problem is, folks, let's talk about finances because you need to do something.
Talking about a delta of around $9,200.
What's your suggestion?
I'm sorry, how much?
Comes out of contingency,
What
there's
did
no
you
other place to come
Did
from.
you say 90,000
9,000.
Nine
per year
No,
per month?
months.
just the end of this year.
Till the end of this year.
So it comes out of contingency, there's
So
no
where
choice
did you
about it.
get 9,000?
Well, we're talking about the difference between 544 and the possibility that at the high end, 1,800. So the difference between that times 6 months. Could be 1,000, could be 7,000, but it's a range between 1,000 up to about $9,200, depending on who you go with.
Well, right now, we're not comparing apples with apples.
That's just for the 6 months we're talking about to the end of the year, so let's say it is in the middle of that $8,000, let's call it $8,000, still $8,000.
Well, I would think that we might be able to consider cutting back some in the fall, into the winter.
I mean,
Do it twice a week, for example, instead of 6 times a week or 3 times a
That
week,
is a good point.
you know.
Good point, John.
that's a good point, John, yeah, absolutely.
But I'm still confused about why Home Jennings is only charging for 6 days a week a total of $1,000. And the one for Jan Pro is $2,600.
What's the service?
Well, the
level? It's a question.
$2,600, does that not include? That includes your full cleaning on Saturday.
No, this is up front, it says adding 3 days is $1,400. Adding 6 days is $2,600. So I don't know if that I'm assuming
So it
that's the overall. the
I think
additional.
what they're saying down here, the amended contract would be $1,400 for 3 days, including the full cleaning on Saturday. It's
So-
6 days, it would be $26.19 for the full cleaning and the 6 days.
So with homogenics, we're not getting a full cleaning at all.
You're not getting a full cleaning at all. That is
So-
just the cleaning of here, there.
So again, I'm saying we're not comparing
Yeah,
apples and
exactly.
apples.
Not even comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, it's apples, oranges and
Yeah, and a-
kumquat.
So are we trying to get rid of Janny Pro then?
Jen would like to.
Is that what we?
I would like to, but I mean, if I have to go the route, you know.
Well, because
we
it
can do that
changes your next
first.
step,
Right, correct.
right? If we're stuck with Janny Pro, there's no sense in looking at anything
There's
else.
there's no point in looking at anywhere else, and then we just need to figure out something else.
But we're not stuck with them because we do have an out of being able to give them notice for non-performance.
But I think you need to go that route
there's
first.
no collective action.
Right, you have to do that first before you can even consider looking at somebody else, and if you want the quotes to all be full quotes, then I gotta do that.
So maybe what we ought to do is hire somebody just to do the pools while we work things out with Jan Pro, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll ask them to come down and watch it costs.
Jan proposes, cleans the full bathrooms also.
Once, on Saturday nights.
Does Jan Pro,
Sure,
they
yeah.
remove garbage and get it over here to the dump?
Say that
Can they
again.
take the garbage and get it over to the dump?
They do from the pool bathrooms, but
Yeah.
they don't do the pool decks or anything like that.
Sunrise does.
And
that.
and it touch the
Sunrise.
pools around.
No, but they do remove the garbage out of the pool and bring it up. That's good. So I guess maybe here's the direction. Get back with Jan Pro, maybe we could give them more specific.
Okay.
So exactly everything that needs to be done 6 days a week.
So
Well, wait, first, I think we need to give them a notification for performance.
Yeah, you need to send whoever your contact is an email that says you saw we need to talk,
And put it in writing.
first and foremost. Then get with them, then at the exact same time, get with them. And get this nailed down to, we're doing the whole pool deck, moving the garbage 6 days a week. And the contingency is they need to be here for closing. And then do the exact same thing with Homo Dust.
So I'm gonna back up and ask that question, because the closing's gonna change during the year, so then that's gonna throw them off for like coming here to clean, because they can't clean the full cleaning on Saturdays when there's parties going on, because we can't clean until 10 o'clock here.
Okay,
There has to be some accommodation somewhere along. the
yeah,
line.
wherever we have to make an accommodation, we will, but my first response would be, we're paying a lot of money
Well, yeah, I agree.
to figure it out.
Paying a bunch of money should be able to accommodate that, it's not gonna work.
You gotta send a different crew and reschedule with crew around, that's their issue. But if they come back and say we can't do it, then we look at what we can then to make that work.
on the Jan Pro quote for $2,600, was that 6 days a week of full cleanings?
No, it'd be the
No.
one cleaning
Uh-huh.
and then 6 days of just doing
Bath.
the bathrooms
Bathroom.
and
what-
straightening the pool deck.
That's not what it says. Didn't give any description.
I think that, like Thomas said, we need to write out specifically what we want and then get them to quote
Yeah, you're right, it says.
that paper. Like, we have 3 different papers that all look completely different. Let's make one quote with one checklist and say, here's the things we want you to do, write a quote on this piece of paper. And then you give that same piece of paper to another company. So I don't want your form that's vague and nondescript. I want you to put your quote on this piece of.
In other words, create an RFP.
Yeah, so, that's.
Hey,
You jumped around the question.
You're welcome.
I like.
Oh, okay, so real quickly, but obviously, you know, we're under the months, that's the only issue. Financially, what do you recommend we do with this when we have this information?
It's contingency, there's no other thing around it. I mean, the 544 comes out of the budget because it's already there, and we're already spending, if the rest of it comes out. of contingency.
if they're doing pool closing activities,
Yes.
that is a service that we had specifically
Play the
delegated
security, yeah.
to security. So the portion of that comes from that budget, since that was a function that we defined as part of the security.
Okay,
And that is what I'm trying to accomplish here, is to get someone close, kick out whoever's there. Clean the deck,
Come over
clean the
here,
bathrooms,
clean this,
reach
close
that,
this.
yeah.
okay, so do you want to take it,
These are little.
you'd have to have it itemized or tell me what that percentage would be, but we can certainly do that. I mean, I don't know what that
I was
itemization.
gonna say, most of your cleaning people don't speak very good English, so I don't know how well this is gonna be.
Well, that can be a requirement also.
I mean, it's not like they're not a forceful presence. It's just gonna make sure the bathrooms are locked, the pool's cleaned up.
If you're teenagers, that's all it takes.
Mhm.
You're doing it for-
Yeah, to a certain extent.
you're always
And
gonna
keep the
have-
camera and take pictures of who doesn't leave.
Yeah. that's it. That's-
It-
I mean, other-
it's not even that. I wouldn't even ask them to, like, kick people out. I mean, just make sure the doors.
I would.
Yeah,
Hey, we're closed, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We gotta clean.
I mean, that's true. There were some kids in here the other day, and I said, hey, we're getting ready to close up.
I mean,
He
they're
said,
gonna,
okay,
they're
thanks.
gonna cash a $2,800 check.
Of course, I would say no to you too.
They do. All right,
All right,
more details for cleaning.
anything else?
What do we wanna do with the Delta? What do we wanna do with the money?
We just talked about it, I mean,
Or-
I got another percentage of the security, the portion you think that is, and we'll take on security budget. It's
My
fine.
goal is to get this approved via email this week.
Jen's on vacation next week, so she'll have it to you by the 14th, is that all right?
Sorry, you didn't let me take one last year.
Did you approve it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes,
Okay,
good.
okay.
So it's on you?
That's just.
I'm sorry, do I get a vacation?
No,
No,
I didn't think so.
that's why I'm so shocked they're still doing
President input. Are we there?
Are you working
I'll
on
look
it?
at
it.
On the vacation?
this. No.
Resident input? Anyone? Is there anyone on? the phone?
anybody online?
Do you have 2 items we need to discuss? It's not a business thing, but where are we at with the architectural changes that we never pushed through?
Mark?
The architectural document, we just need to put it on the agenda and go on it. However you wanna do it, it's done.
I
Like
thought we
the draft.
voted on it, we were holding to mail it because of finances.
We left off with you needing to make some small revisions, and send it out to the entire board for last minute approval, so then we can send a mailing out. It needs to get mailed. to them.
Yeah,
So
we
We were waiting for some sort of equipment, like a mass mailer or something like that.
We do have all that equipment at this point.
have it. It was in your,
No problem.
Because we've
We
got a
needed
house
to
in our neighborhood waiting for the approval to put a tin on the.
That in there.
and I gave you all the information on the room.
No,
All right,
yeah,
we'll get that done for the 14th as well.
that was one item. When are we gonna reconvene
We're
about
doing
the?
mid-year, it's not midweek, mid-month, another meeting for all this.
Two items.
But we have the security meeting, you said too, right? When is that?
You have that's the 6th, isn't it?
Six.
Oh, that's the 6th.
It's at 6 at 7:30. I'm gonna have to wake myself up.
Want me to give you a call?
All the young guys are fixing to go out, you know.
Have a shot of express stuff.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's at 6, so we're not gonna have this one.
We go into executive session, we have 2 items.
Okay.
We need to shut that down.
We done?
Can we do an executive session now?
Yeah,
We have to send out.
By an executive
It's
session.
not a closed meeting,
We have to close the meeting.
executive session or not.
you can close the meeting and go into executive session. It's not,
I have no grounds for it. Okay, that's why I asked.
I don't think that.
It's not saying we can't, it's saying we just don't.
I mean, it's on the agenda, but that wasn't put up. It's okay.
okay,
Oh, we can discuss the, Lincoln paperwork that you have in front of you, the above reference property has requested 6-month payment plan.
No,
6-month payment plan.
no,
Yankee wants it?
But the-
no, as a homeowner,
But it
Oh.
came from Lincoln, they're in collections.
oh, that's right, I forgot about that.
766.
You want a 6-month payment plan for $766?
Oh.
no, they
A
want,
month. It's a month.
that's the payment for each, for 6 months at 700.
Are we,
In addition to the monthly system. I say yes.
yeah, I see, yeah.
John, do you want to look at this?
I think I saw it.
I mean, if they're that far behind, it's gonna take them time to get caught up. You gotta run some sort.
I think what we ought to do is tell them to go to their bank. Pay the 6 months to the bank, not to us.
Like that,
Yeah, we're not a bank.
assuming they have.
I would agree with John, on this. It gets to be a kind of a vicious cycle after a while, and what happens when they foreclose in the process, or they sell their house and
She's
stuff.
pre-foreclosure.
I know, but I'm just saying, then we're waiting for the closure of the house and we're sitting on the money anyway. It's just all the complications that go with it. We'll get it at some point, just how fast do you want to wait for it?
You said they are free for. And, yeah, then no.
Just the very foreclosure. already?
Pretty.
Pretty
Yeah.
foreclosure.
So we're
Gotta
not
make
negotiating.
sure we're on the list.
Well, we are, right, the liens on the house already,
Mhm.
yeah, so we're on the list. Yes, good point.
But if they're willing to make the payments, you're better off getting something instead of
I,
nothing.
that's how I feel.
But if you agree to that payment and they foreclose, that payment can be seen as a payment arrangement and throw the foreclosure out for payments. So basically, that's what I'm concerned about, is that, well, we get the money if we do it this way.
Yeah, the reality is what they're saying is we're gonna wait forever,
Mhm.
but we're gonna get 100% of the impact.
So if we accept this payment plan, it could jeopardize our chances of getting the other.
Yeah, we need to talk to an attorney about this, make sure
Well,
we don't
Melissa-
really shoot ourselves in the foot.
I think Melissa would be able to get right on that, but that's why we my concern is with it. We accepted this as supersede the foreclosure because we're gonna waive the lien, right? The lien would stay on, but
They'll be in stay on until it's fully paid.
From Melissa, I presume.
yes, she's one who initiated it, that.
I don't know how to do that.
You want me to get more answers from her, see what our flexibility is,
Yeah,
and then send it out to them?
I think if it doesn't break the lien, then I say yes. If it does break the lien, then I say.
I'll make a motion.
Or what?
We can't
I
vote
don't
on
have
it.
a motion yet.
And
There's
if we're
something
all-
to make a motion on, we need more information.
So let me offer a suggestion here. We can, 3 of us can meet at a time without having the whole community.
Yes,
So what I would suggest, because we have to have 100% to do this in the interim. That we have a series of like 2 or 3 meetings where we've got 3, 2, and 2 or something like that, and we meet and we talk about it and we share the information we got from everybody else. And then we've got the information we need, and then we propose what we're gonna do, pass it 100%. We get it done mid-month, and then we report it at the end, at the meeting next time.
I think I know the information that we need in order to answer this question. We all seem to be on the same page. So my draft motion would be what I just said. Pending if it breaks the lien or not. So if accepting this payment plan jeopardizes our chances to collect in full, then no. we do not accept the payment plan. If accepting the payment plan does not jeopardize our chances of collecting in full upon foreclosure, then yes, we accept the payment plan. Does that sound fair?
Plus, interest.
Yeah.
We can charge interest at 27%.
That's another question I'd like to throw out while we're talking about this. Melissa does use the interest and the late fees as a negotiation tactic to collect. I'm not a fan of that. I might do the late fees, but not the interest. And I'd like to give her some type of direction on that. to go forward.
I agree, the interest isn't hard loan. And this payment plan is with Mint. You're not gonna be cutting us checks, they're gonna be paying Mint, and acting when they ask once they're clear and full. Yeah, I agree as much.
I don't, I'm bored with that just for a minute.
Sure.
I think it's okay.
If it doesn't work, then only
Do
do.
we make a motion from this? Also accept the motion as stated. Do I get a second?
Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey,
I want to oppose, motion
Opposed.
carries.
Well, thank you, thank you.
We go home then?
That's a big if.
No, two more things.
If we don't get the answer, or if it's not crystal clear, then it becomes null and void anyway.
Yes.
Just, the only way we can do closed executive session is if the attorney's present. Got
Or
it?
if it's about the person.
Or if it's about YouTube.
It's also if we go discuss any, pending legal.
Yeah, it has to be.
We have any pending legal.
Yeah, lawsuits, something going on.
Just the first page, that's the update.
We already discussed it.
I can
Kirkland
find
White.
it.
We lost the opportunity.
George,
Who's this from? This from, is this associate?
yes. He asked for an extension to, and George wants to know if we have any updates.
Can I just read this aloud so I can see it? It's like George.
Yes.
Servant-
Ask for the extension with the associate information.
Okay.
We're back up there.
Sophia, so George basically asks Sophia for clarification on the debt that we owe.
mhm.
And then an extension.
And an extension, Associate said, Associate's lawyer said, I have advised Associate on your claims and questions regarding the invoices. Our office will provide you with an update and the requested documentation as soon as our client forwards it to us. Then that is it. And then George says, I asked him if the extension of time has been granted and how much, any more updates for me as far as, he's just asking us a question.
Yeah, well, he wants to know, does anybody have any more information on the associate invoices or anything like that, emails?
No, I looked through myself.
Nothing after that last one.
Do you have a copy of the letter we sent them? We need a copy of it. It's been in the records anyway. We did a lot of work on that. And that's sort of key. All this stuff.
We haven't closed the meeting yet, is that correct?
That's-
No, we haven't, yeah.
One
Do you
more
have
thing,
something else?
No, I just wanted that comment I made about the interest, is that something that we can direct Melissa not to do from here forward?
Yeah,
Take the board?
Yeah,
Please.
I didn't realize she was negotiating interest.
Thank you.
So-
Hard no for me too. You guys.
I agree.
Wait on
What?
interest?
I'm waiving the interest,
Got it, okay.
so please,
that's okay.
thank you.
Please and thank you.
And anything else? Save rounds?
One more thing, anybody else? She's on vacation next week. And
Questions from the chat land. When, any updates on our furniture?
nope, they're getting it, they were getting it in portions, should be within the next 2 weeks. To them to be put together to be
Okay.
brought here,
So next week or two, we should see some furniture.
closer to 2.
Okay.
Well, but you said for them to receive it and then assemble it.
They're assembling it at their location down in Brandon, Sarasota,
Mhm.
that area, and we're gonna bring it up here.
So I would say 2 to 3 then.
Yeah,
So
2 to 3.
well, she told me,
Last
like,
week in July. This is that.
All right, so I move that we adjourn.
wait, one more thing,
No.
you keep cutting me off.
It's not on the list.
I tried going to executive, nobody wants to listen. She's on a vacation, 2 weeks after that, 28th, I am gonna resign,
Do what?
resign.
resign. Like for a vacation and then you're.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Patty.
I am too.
So June 28th,
Yes.
that would be
July
20th will be your last day, or is that you're giving us your 2 weeks?
Well, that's,
She's giving
I'm
it to us
giving
now.
her,
Mhm.
yeah, it's 2 weeks,
Month.
and then- so she'll be able to come back. Get
Okay,
her-
so July 20th is your last day.
Well, thanks, man.
All right,
Now we can close them.
now we can.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.